swinging. Very common. 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 swinging. Very Collins.
P. Burke, thank you so much for the follow.
Now
Appreciate
recording.
Gregory.
Might as well do that. Okay. So, and we'll do this one too. So, you know. All right. Anywho, what I was saying was the last time I watched professional wrestling, it was my freshman year at University of Maryland. We were sitting in our dorm room, and it was dorm room cable. Okay.
Yeah.
So your options were like ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, Fox, NBC, like the one HBO channel they gave you, and like one other thing. Like it was like you got like USA Network or something. Like like the most random channels of all time, right?
Yeah, very few options.
Right, exactly. So we were watching I was in at the time what they called a flex triple. So a flex triple, for those of you who don't know, is it's a double room that they've put another bed in.
Oh
So
God, that
it's
sucks.
designed for 2 people, but
Oh no,
there's 3 people in it.
it's horrible.
So the amount of space that you get is 0. Anywho, one of my dorm mates, kid named Santiago, liked wrestling, and he turned it on one day on USA. I think it was USA. It was like a rerun from a while ago. And I just remember, I don't remember who it was or what was going on, but there was a bunch of kids in sheep's costumes in a cage.
What?
Like with just like sheep's heads. And the main dude was walking around just singing Ba Ba Black Sheep. And then it like panned out and there were these kids sitting in a circle also with sheep's masks on. Kids, not like when I say kids, I mean like maybe like 8, 9, 10 years old, right? Singing Mary Had a Little Lamb, sitting in a circle. As the camera just pans over them, he just walks out to the ring, and I'm like, I'm not sleeping tonight.
I wonder if it was either Bray Wyatt or somebody swerving on Bray Wyatt.
I mean, this was like, let's see, freshman year, so 2013.
I'm trying to think. I was thinking of the one guy that passed away.
Oh, Luke Harper.
Yeah, I think it was like them.
But it
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm thinking.
weird. It was weird.
Because they did always come out with like these weird masks.
And it
Yeah.
was like a full like sheep's head. Like
Yeah,
it was
they-
like a
they
full
would-
blown like, yeah.
No, they would come out with that stuff.
Yeah, it was like a whole cult angle that they had going on. back then.
That's exactly what it looked and felt like, was like a cult.
Yeah.
And
See?
it was weird, and that's the last time I have watched professional wrestling.
Bray Wyatt's character is so good. Like, I'm so excited that he's finally back because the way that he plays that character is so interesting and it's so deep. It's almost like he's been building that character ever since the time that you're talking about, Terps, it's like all built on itself, and he's come back, and now it's like starting to kind of have this culmination of who he is and what like this whole master plan, I guess, is. It's so much fun. I love this shit.
Yeah, it is fun. Dude, I was attached. Rey Mysterio was my guy. The Wolf Pack.
Hell yeah.
I was all into that. I cried
I was a big
when Rey
Sting
Mysterio
fan.
when Rey Mysterio had to take his mask off. Well, Kevin Nash took his mask off. I cried. That hurt.
Yeah, that was jacked up.
That hurt so much.
That's a big deal in Lucha Libre too. Like, you don't take your mask off.
Yeah. I just
But
remember
anyway,
that
folks.
happening. But yeah, sorry.
Anyway, folks, it's been a weird week for all of us. There's Chinese spy balloons above us in Montana. Locked Twitter accounts getting more views. It's snowing and icing in Texas and 60 degrees in New Jersey. Welcome to season 3, episode 3 of Off the Fair Poll. We're going to cover all that with myself, Sharp 17, Mr. Derek Holland, and Mr. Kyle Van Dyermaker.
Hello?
How y'all doing today in this wacky, weird past week that we call 2023?
I mean, I'm good. Just recovering from that amazing flu that was out. Still coughing like crazy, but yeah, it's been eventful. That's for damn sure.
I'm coughing like crazy too for a different reason, because I'm living in the fucking construction dust again.
I thought you were gonna
Pissing
say
me
you're hitting a
off.
bong or something.
Not the same.
No,
Different
this is
dust.
nowhere near that fun.
That fun.
Fucking like,
I was like, I wish.
yeah, dude. I need to after this weekend that I had. Derek, I was telling you about it. Terps, I can't remember if I was telling you or not, if I said anything in the group text, but apparently when our floors got put in, a couple of things happened. One, the people didn't do it right. They didn't do the leveling and prep work that they should have. And two, the material apparently that we was total dog shit. Like, so all my floors like were splintering and breaking and shit. So my wife and I had to spend the weekend moving all the furniture off of the entire first floor and pulling up all the floors that were just put down a year ago, throwing those in the trash. And now the people are coming back to lay new flooring tomorrow finally. But yeah, the amount of dust, and they had to come and sand all the seams on the subfloor, so that kicked up a bunch of sawdust and shit everywhere. It's just dust everywhere, and it sucks,
Just
and I hate it.
Just a little dust on the bottle.
That just sounds terrible.
Yeah, and
That's-
it's just our bedroom is full of a bunch of shit, because literally we just took everything off the floor on the bottom level and put it in every other room, and so we can't park in the garage because there's furniture in the garage. We couldn't really walk around downstairs very much over the last couple days because there was leveling cement all over the floor that you couldn't walk in. So it's like everybody's just packed in my bedroom and on top of each other, and it's a fucking mess.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sucks.
That sounds awful. Are you getting any
It's not.
Are you getting any compensation for the floor being janked up?
Not really. I mean, they're doing it for free. I'm not having to pay for anything, but outside of that, no.
I mean, free still free.
I will
Yeah.
say I was entertained though when I
Free is
called
still free.
Dyer.
I mean, listen, you take what you can get,
Wait.
but that floor dust, that shit, oh. There's a reason that they were N95s and putting that stuff down.
Oh man, it's brutal, dude. It's everywhere too. It's all over. Like, I cooked for the first time since Friday because we've been trying not to, dirty up the kitchen, and we haven't been able to go in there half the time anyway. But cooked for the first time today, and there was literally like 1/8 of an inch of dust just sitting on my stovetop
Oh,
that I had to clean before I could actually cook.
you didn't cover it?
No, no, we didn't cover anything. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us when it comes
Ugh.
time to move everything back, because we're gonna have to clean everything, top
So
to
you're-
bottom.
So you're inhaling dust particles. Derek is over here living in the tundra while having the temperature of the sun.
Yeah, it's weird. Very weird, but I will say, what I was trying to say earlier, I was very entertained by Dyer and his daughter on FaceTime the other night. when I was really feeling kind of shitty, but I got them on the phone, and his daughter was just making me laugh because it was literally a mini Dyer laugh, and they just kept going back and forth, and we were watching wrestling. I'm pretty sure at the time. No.
Yeah.
No,
SmackDown was on.
Yeah, I was gonna say Smack. It wasn't the Rumble because when I tried to call you then, your wife was asleep. So, but yeah, that was very entertaining. But yeah, this little ice storm is no joke here in Dallas, which people don't understand. And I get it. You guys think Dallas, you don't think snow, but it snows here. It's happened every single year I've been here. The Super Bowl, we had the big ice storm when that was here. I don't know if you guys remember that. I mean, we've had the ice storms left and right, and it's becoming routine. Getting the ice storm part of it. Usually the snow is the other issue, but not as much snow, more ice.
I think the big thing that doesn't help with Dallas and southern states in general when it comes to ice storms, whatever. A lot of us, quote unquote, Northerners. I'm from New Jersey. You guys obviously from, the Ohio area, the Midwest. Yeah, you can make jokes about, oh, we're used to snow, we're used to cold. The difference is we're equipped for it.
Yeah, we are not.
Texas is not equipped for it. So, and people
Which is
don't realize.
weird. You would think after continuously having this happen, you'd start preparing for it. Like, all right, here it comes again.
Yeah. And the weird thing is like, if this ice storm happened up near you, Dyer, you wouldn't bat an eye. Kids would be going to school. It would be cleared off already. Like,
we've had ice storms and didn't get to go to school in Ohio.
Well, now they do a somewhat virtual, Derek, so there's no more snow days.
Well,
get with the times.
Yeah, but they would still do that here, though. They could still do virtual, but
what I'm saying though is, if you look, the difference is there, the northern states, the Midwest states that get the snow, we have the trucks, you have the plows, you have the salt, you have the sand, you have the de-icing, you have all of that, and for the most part, the locals kind of know how to drive in it.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, on the other hand, it's a whole nother ballgame, which is why, like, I don't like when people give them shit. I'm like, yeah, you can give them shit, but at the same time, like, that's like if a hurricane makes it all the way up to Ohio, y'all ain't prepared for that either.
Absolutely
right.
not.
It's something you just don't deal with routinely. That's
true.
something to keep in mind.
You don't have the trucks and stuff. It doesn't make sense to sink all the money into the maintenance and everything that goes into that when you use them once every 5 years. So I feel like it's probably just kind of a deal with it, and everybody does the best they can when it does happen.
We're getting the stat here from Deathmatch, and Dallas is also windier than Chicago, which is crazy, but it says average wind speeds of Dallas is 12.5, Chicago is 10.5. That's kind of interesting. Just throwing that out there. It was thrown into the chat here. But yeah.
So
interesting.
There is something that came up that I have to talk about with you guys, because it's been a hot topic of debate amongst my friends, amongst some of the streams I've been in, one of my streams. It's been a hot debate. And this has come up before, and we've talked about weird food trends before on this podcast. And I'm going out on a limb saying this is not a weird food trend, but I'm going to throw this question out. We may have actually talked about this in the past, but I'm going to lead it off with two questions. One, do you guys enjoy and or make toast?
I mean, I don't do it like regularly, but yeah.
And do you
the right circumstances?
And do you have a slot toaster or a toaster oven?
Slot toaster.
Slot toaster.
I have a slot toaster that I use most of the time. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do it in the air fryer. I'm just toasting quick, flip. Yeah.
Just to throw this out there, because I'm curious. I've never done this, and only because you brought this up. Anybody ever heat up their pizza through the toaster?
I've heard about that.
I've heard of it too, but I've never.
I've heard of that. I've never tried. I feel like you need a specific type of pizza to do that, though. Like, you need the square. Like, you can't put a triangle in the toaster.
I feel like that's a meme because
I agree. I get what you're saying.
If you try and do that though, the grease is gonna drip if you're not careful, and
what if it's a Tony
catch
Square
those wires
pizza?
On fire?
What if it's a Tony Square piece?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was just curious. I'm with you.
Know. But
I would not advise.
They're saying you do microwave first, then finish in the toaster.
I've never tried it.
Never done it.
I've never tried, but okay. Have you guys ever heard of perfect toast? Like the perfect toast method? Okay. So there's
like
a
the
theory
perfect,
out there.
wait, like as in the perfect way to toast a piece of toast, a piece of bread.
Yes, regardless of the settings you prefer.
Okay.
So, everyone likes, your toaster has a 1 through 10, or it has pictures of like, white
Light
through
to
like
dark.
black. Yeah. And you can set your own settings accordingly, right? That's what everyone. So I'm going to ask you a question here. And this is an odd question, but I wonder if this has happened to you guys. Have you guys ever made more than 2 pieces of toast, or if you have a 1-slot toaster, more than 1 piece of toast? And if you notice that the second round of toast that you make is always a little bit crunchier.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, just because I have a shitty toaster, I think, and it gets too hot, so it doesn't toast for as long until you let it cool off.
Why are we talking about this? So I do this. King Jamie does this. Good friend Crazy does this. I know a few other people who do this too. So it's not just me. Have you guys ever heard of preheating or cycling your toaster?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. So when you go and you make your eggs, the theory is when you go make your eggs, or you're sunny side up, you're over easy, whatever you make, your scrambled eggs, before you put the toast in, you just plop the toaster plunger down. Let it run its normal cycle, right? With nothing in it. You let it run, you let it preheat, you let it get hot, right? Then when it pops, you then put your toast in and you plunge it again. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just good with just stick the toast in there and let's
so-
go.
so- listen, hear me out.
It seems like doing way too much here.
Is it though? If you're already at the stove and you're already doing things, is it that much more effort to plop the plunger down?
No,
You don't
of
make your
course not,
toast,
but it's
because you don't make your toast right when you start making your scrambled eggs. Otherwise, the toast would be cold.
right. Once I know my eggs are ready, put the fucking toast in, take it
Right.
out, we're ready to go.
But all you got to do is because I know where your toaster is. It's right by your stove,
right.
right?
Yeah.
If all you're doing there, right, is making your eggs, all you gotta do is reach over while you're making your eggs, plop that plunger down.
Yeah.
Doesn't take any extra effort. But what it does is it heats the wire basket that holds the toast.
Correct.
That retains heat. So when you put the toast in, the wire basket's already hot,
I mean,
and you get a little more crust, a little more crunch.
I
Try
get
it.
it.
Just try it. Try it. All I'm saying is try it.
I mean, I've really used the toaster for bagels, so can I do it for a bagel?
Yeah, you can do it with a bagel too. Anything that goes in the toaster, you can do it.
My bagels turn out like perfect how they are right now.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, just try it. It also, I don't know if it's just my toaster. It does toast faster too. The second time around, the second run.
I think I just have a shitty toaster.
I'm telling you, just try it. Try it. Dyer, it might help your shitty toaster.
I mean,
Could
I'm
be onto something.
I'm
give it
trying
a shot.
I'm not saying no. I'm not bashing
I'm
this
not,
at all.
I'm not the only one that does this, by the way, chat. Okay, Ernie and
well,
Stapes.
I mean, so far out of everybody in the chat here, well, okay, never mind. Your guys have come in and they've come in and obviously put the foot down, but I don't feel like anybody in the chat does it. I know my parents don't do this. I know my brother doesn't do this. I don't know anybody that does this. This is new.
I didn't always do this. This was brought to me a few years ago, and I tried it. And I'm just saying it works. It works. It works because the second toast you always make is always better than the first toast. Always is.
I agree with that.
That's because the toast is already hot.
Actually,
heated.
The more I think about it, I don't know, because I don't know.
You just gotta try it. Science it.
I agree.
Dutch oven the science guy.
Yeah.
We have Dr. Dyer. Now we can have Dutch oven science guy.
I mean,
but yeah,
I'm gonna try it.
do you guys have any weird food things you guys do, other than like putting ketchup on steak or mac and cheese? That's not really that weird. That's just
I mean, it's more
controversial.
Ketchup on the mac and cheese and eggs.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that.
Ranch on the
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah, and that's common.
Jalapeno and pineapple on pizza.
I have one, and I don't know if this is weird, but when I was growing up, whenever we'd eat spaghetti, we'd get our spaghetti, put all our sauce on there as you do, little Parmesan if you want, and then we would put a scoop of cottage cheese on top. Is that weird?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Is it? I'm not a huge fan of cottage cheese.
It's kind of similar to like ricotta, somewhat. It's kind of like a little a lasagna feel. It's good. It mixes all in with the sauce and everything. Makes a tasty little combo.
Okay.
Different.
Okay. I put cottage cheese on lasagna before.
I like
Yeah,
cottage cheese though.
Yeah.
I've done cottage cheese in place of like ricotta when I made lasagna. Just like
I still use
I
ricotta.
thought that I had it and I didn't. I just used that instead.
That's
So,
fair.
the time that I was in a pinch, and it turned out fine.
I've never been a huge cottage cheese fan. Like cottage cheese and like
Just put some
carrot sticks,
pepper on
celery
it.
sticks, never been a thing. I've never liked it. I don't know if it's a consistency thing for me. I don't like with it. I just have never liked cottage cheese. It's never been something that I've been wanting to eat.
I feel like cottage cheese is especially versatile, though. Like you could put fruit on it, or you could put salt and pepper on it. You
Just
could put it
pepper.
on the pasta, as we said. Just pepper. Like you could do so much with cottage cheese. It's kind of a blank slate.
I mean, you can say the same thing about yogurt.
That's true too.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the yogurt, though. It kind of has to. I mean,
It
you
does
can't
depend on the
like.
yogurt. Correct. Yeah. If you got a super sweet flavored yogurt, you can't like marinate like chicken in that.
Yeah.
used
But
to
if you got a good
love-
quality like Greek yogurt that's not sweetened.
Oh, you can use that for pretty much anything.
For
Hell
some
yeah.
reason, crackers and cream cheese is so good too.
Yeah,
That's
It's
that is
simple. It's a simple snack that's
But-
just perfect in every way.
Cream cheese is another one though. That's versatile. You can make it sweet.
Yeah.
You can make it savory. You can do all kinds of shit with it.
Yeah.
Philadelphia cream cheese will forever be the king of cream cheese, though. I don't mean the city Philadelphia. I mean the brand.
Yeah.
Well,
The
they're on
brand
pace
Philadelphia.
right now.
What?
I mean, they're about to be the city right now.
Well, they
The
are about to
Phillies
be the
were in the-
city again.
Phillies were in the World Series. Eagles are in the Super Bowl. The Flyers, I don't know how they are actually. They might be okay.
Stuck.
Okay, never mind. So
Sorry, they swallow.
okay, they do that. So yeah, I mean that's the city right now. It's a hot city.
Sometimes
About to be the city of kissing sisters.
You dip wheat thin. Chat. Joey says he dips wheat thins in applesauce.
I don't
Oh,
think
wow.
I've ever done that one.
I've never.
Different.
I mean,
Applesauce.
I mean, wheat thins is basically just glorified cereal made into bigger
True.
squares. Like if you like crumbled up wheat thins and put like put like milk in it, I feel like that would just be like your traditional like kind of cruddy cereal. You know, like the healthy brand style cereal that has no
What was
flavor to it.
What was that one cereal that looks like just a big haystack? That's just
Frosted
a big
Mini
block.
Wheats?
That, no, not the like. I'm talking the one that's like the size of your fist, where you just put just the one in the
Oh.
bowl
Yes, I know.
and you pour the milk over it, and then you kind of like carve it up with your spoon.
See,
know what I'm
grape
talking
nuts,
about?
Grape nuts is coming up, but it's not grape nuts. Grape
I know
nuts
what
do
you're
come in
talking
weird.
about.
God, I know exactly what you're talking about. I
It's
just
a
can't
big,
think of
like,
the name.
brick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Frosted Mini Wheats, except no frosting and like 6 times the size.
I think there is a frosted one too. Shredded
I'm
wheat
sure there probably
biscuits.
Yeah, is that just what it's called? Shredded wheat or something like that?
Shredded wheat, maybe.
Yeah, it's just shredded wheat. I
gotta
just
be.
found a picture of it. I just found just Google shredded wheat, and it literally looks like an oversized. It looks like an oversized pizza roll that you just dumped in a bowl.
And it tastes
Like
like
shit.
I imagine hay tastes like.
It tastes like shit. I've had.
Like if
this.
I'm a cow, I would love this.
The only time that this has been good is that I've made parfaits using this, like a yogurt parfait. You know, yogurt, and then instead of granola, I've used this.
Okay.
'Cause that's what we had. But then you put fruit on top of that, and like, the honey, and it kind of all works. It's more of just to add a crunch factor more than anything.
I love a good parfait.
Does anybody here put the milk before the cereal?
No,
Mm-mm.
that's weird.
No, yeah, it is weird. But do you drink do you drink the cereal milk?
I do drink the
Mhm.
cereal milk.
Oh yeah.
I'm a cereal milk drinker.
I know someone who pours out the cereal milk.
I feel like that feels wasteful.
It does feel wasteful.
And a lot of times it's really tasty. Like you get
Especially cinnamon
a little
toast
those
crunch.
last remnants.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, a little bit. It's kind of like infused milk, if you will.
Well, cereal milk is a thing. You can get cereal milk that's pre-infused.
See, I don't want that. I want my own, like,
I
I
wanna
made
make it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
This
can
is my
get cocoa.
batch.
You can start with your plain 2% milk, or whole milk, or 1%, or skim, whatever you prefer.
Skim,
your-
gross.
Put your Cocoa Puffs in, eat your Cocoa Puffs, and you magically have chocolate milk afterwards.
hell yeah,
Like it's
best.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't really have any weird food items now that I think about it that I do, other than preheat my toaster.
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
Roll my eyes at the chat.
Are
Yeah,
you guys milk drinkers? Like you just drink a glass of milk ever?
Every so often, yes. I used to be a big milk drinker.
Me too. I
Yeah,
don't
me
do
too.
it so much anymore.
I'll do it. It depends on what I'm eating. Like if I'm eating like a PB&J, I want a full glass of milk.
Mm-hmm.
Mac and
Yeah.
cheese, I'll take a full glass of milk. That kind of thing. Like that's when it's good for me. That's when I like.
Here's a weird one. I think milk pairs well with pizza. I like pizza and a cup of milk.
I mean, it's dairy. It's dairy and dairy.
Yeah.
Just having. Derek's like, no, absolutely not.
No, that was
Absolutely not. Get out of here with that.
yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
What about like, were you guys a fan when y'all were in school of, like the strawberry milks? You know,
Yeah.
like, there was like the vanilla, the chocolate, and strawberry milk.
Nestle Quick,
Yep.
Yes,
Love it.
the powder, or the syrup.
Everyone. It was one of those things where a lot of people made fun of you if you drank the strawberry milk, but everyone drank the strawberry milk.
See, I don't
Strawberry
know
milk is
anybody that
good.
ever made fun of anybody.
Oh, I know
for it.
people who made it. At least in my school, it's kind of like Nickelback. Like everyone makes fun of people listening to
Nope.
Nickelback,
See,
but in
I'm good.
reality, we're
I'll
all gonna
take-
be in the car jamming the fuck out to Rockstar.
I'll
So,
take it.
like-
I like Nickelback and Creed.
I will shit. I will shit on Nickelback every chance I get.
And I will still
I
jam
will.
out.
I will never change the channel when Nickelback comes on the radio.
I'd listen
The
to all
minute-
that.
The minute here, I'm through with Stan, and you're like, yeah, we're doing this.
Hell yeah.
Like if you're going through the phone shuffle and you hear, look at this phone, you're like, nope, we're here. We're here. I'm not changing.
I don't. Yeah,
And
I
then
don't. I don't think. I don't see. I'm not gonna change any of that stuff. I'm playing it. I like it.
No.
I think
just
that's what
Nickelback's cool to hate.
people worry about. That though. That's the thing. Like everybody hates it, whatever. But it's like if you're in a group and they're like, oh yeah, I hate that. It's kind of like you were saying earlier. Oh man, I hate that. That sucks. And then you walk away and you're like, I don't really hate that. I actually like that.
I'm gonna go home and do it right now.
Like I had to stick up for that because my friends didn't. Like I hate that. Like I'll be the one. I'll raise my hand. Yep. I like Nickelback. We're cool. That's cool. You want to call me whatever, gay, dumb, whatever. I
You
like
know what
Nickelback.
it used to be? It used to be anime. For the longest time, it was anime. Like, if you said
never
you
really got
liked
into it.
anime, me neither. But if you said that you liked anime, people were like, "Oh, you're weird. You're weird." But now that like I've gotten older and like I think our that 80s 90s age group got older now, the amount of people who actually watch anime is insanely high.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like I'm sure we all know people who watch anime somewhat religiously or have an anime show that they like. Or I'm also sure that you also know someone who does watch anime but doesn't tell you they watch anime.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like.
some anime.
I like it. I have nothing against it. I don't know enough about
It's
it.
not my style.
But I mean, I watch cartoons. I don't care that
Yeah.
I'm. That's the thing that cracks me up. I'm 36, and people be like, "You're 36 years old. You play video games. You watch cartoons." I don't give a shit. I watch South Park. I watch Family Guy. I watch Rick and Morty. I play video games. I love Super Mario. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's how it should be, though.
I don't feel like there's an age where you stop, like where you should feel like you have to stop doing the things you like to do. Like that's kind of a fucking cop out.
Correct.
Like, think for yourself and just enjoy what you like, and stop worrying about what somebody else is going to think about it.
And the thing is too, like again, the kids who grew up in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, before video games were really like a big thing. Well, they weren't a big thing, but not everyone had a game console. Not everyone, but everyone had a friend who had one. or everyone had a console. Like you had maybe you had like a Game Boy Advance, or you had like a Game Boy, or you had the NES, or you had the GameCube. But there was always something you wanted to play that you never really got to play. But now that you've grown up and have money, you're like, oh shit, I can actually afford this and can do this. I don't have to ask mom, can I have an Xbox? I can just go buy an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to ask, hey, can I play Halo? I can just go download Halo and relive my childhood if I want to. Hey, Call of Duty's come on, let's get back with the boys from high school and let's play Call of Duty again and see what it's like, And I think that's a big part of it. And I think it's going to get more and more and more and more and more. And the other question in my chat, we've already answered this so many times, but we're going to say it again. Burgers and steaks and the rares, it's medium rare or rare.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'm always just
Sometimes
medium.
sometimes a medium, yeah. Especially if you got like a one that's a high, a fattier cut, maybe I'll go a medium on that. But
Burgers, I will go medium. That's a good point.
yeah, burgers same way.
Another hot take that's funny too is growing up. Remember, we always got yelled at for being like too close to the TV, but now we have
Yes.
VRs and
Yes.
literally it's right up against your eyeballs. And it's like, okay, wait a minute.
So
What are we supposed to do?
So I actually learned from my previous employer why that old wives' tale kind of came about. And it's actually so the original TVs, yes, there were issues where if you sat too close with the tube TVs, it could cause issues with your eyes, blah, 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 blah. However, as TVs got bigger and bigger and bigger, the resolution didn't get better. Right. So think about remember when the first big the first big rear projection TVs came out, the ones that had the built-in speakers on the bottom and weighed 700 pounds.
The caboose behind it.
Yeah, the caboose behind it. And it was
Big daddies.
it was like a 55-inch TV, and that was the biggest you could get at the time. But they were 720p resolution. And most of what you watched then was even lower resolution. High def wasn't a thing then. HD wasn't around, remember? We hadn't gotten to that point yet. But what happens was if you took that screen size, a 55-inch TV, right, and it was 720, right, and you took the more common, what does everyone have, like a 30-inch then, like a 26-inch TV then, that was like the common size, that was also 720. There are the same number of pixels, the exact same number of dots that make up the screen in a 26-inch 720p TV and a 55-inch 720p TV. Exact same number of pixels.
Really?
Yes, it does not change. The only difference is a 720p, a 55-inch TV has physically bigger pixels because it's a physically larger television. So when you sat too close to it, you could physically see the fuzziness of the image. You could actually see the pixels. The further back you sat away from it, right, the clearer the image is. The best way you can kind of explain that today is look at a Jumbotron. When you're up close to a Jumbotron, it looks like shit because you can see each individual LED. That equates to a pixel. But the further you get away from a Jumbotron, the lines disappear that you see when you're up close. The image framing disappears and it becomes a smooth, cohesive image. So that's where that came from, which was you can't sit so close. And that kind of was perpetrated, but also meant that the image was actually clearer when you sat further away from the television. And some TV companies actually pushed that narrative because people were complaining the TVs looked fuzzy. True story. And that's still the case today. That's still the case today. An 85-inch TV that's 4K has the same number of pixels that your 32-inch 4K computer monitor has. They both have 8.5 million pixels. Doesn't change. Just the size of the pixel changes between the two of them.
Yeah.
And the 4K Jumbotron also has 8.5 million pixels. That doesn't change either. So that's where that's another good example too. Death just came up with a good example too. For example, take Derek, you may have seen this, the dot artwork that's in the Cowboy Stadium, or that you see sometimes the artists do, where it just looks like a bunch of dots or a bunch of lines when you're up close to it. But when you take a step back, you see the full image. It kind of all melds together and works together.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. Same principle.
Yes.
Same thing. Yeah,
How
sorry, that was a
about this?
tangent there.
Yeah, but it's a good
Real
tangent.
quick, one more thing, and I think we've got a lot of babies in this chat that aren't going to understand what we're talking about. How about scrambled pay-per-view? Like scrambled porn.
Like, I want to make sure we're on the right
The same page here.
thing here. Scrambled porn, like the choppy digital shit. Like it's not coming in
Like-
clear.
Like, you know, it's like the old way it was you had a cable box and you'd go to the channel and the channel would still come up and you'd get the some of the audio, but the
Yeah.
video was scrambled. And every now and then, though, because then you'd have to call in and be like, "Hey, I want to buy this," and then they would descramble or do whatever they do with the coding to make it so that that feed actually comes through on your screen.
It wasn't just porn; it was anything pay-per-view.
No, we used to do this with Back to Pro Wrestling. My brother and I, whenever there were pro wrestling pay-per-views, we would flip it to the channel and just listen to the audio like we were listening to the radio, so that we knew what was going on in the wrestling matches.
Now, when you do it, you just get a nice blue screen that says, "Unfortunately, this is paid content."
Now I just pay $10 a month for Peacock.
And now you're there.
And he gets all the porn he wants.
Well, now, shit, man.
I
Kids
also
Well, not kids, but you know what I mean.
Skinamax, that's right.
Young folks are spoiled nowadays. You got all the porn you could ever want on any one of 600 freaking websites.
I also remember back in the day, not even that long ago, like 10, 15 years ago, when hotels would have pay-per-view porn, but the TVs weren't advanced then. So if someone in the room before you was watching the porn channel and then you turned on the television when you got there, it would still be on the porn channel.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
And it was like, I got caught once because I turned it on. My parents, "What are you watching?" "I just turned the TV on." No, I literally just turned the TV on. I hit the on button. This was the channel that was on when I came in. I wasn't allowed to watch TV the rest of the weekend.
I swear, I didn't know. Derek, you remember the baseball tournament we went to in Cincinnati, and I ordered the porn in the hotel room, and it charged Coach's credit card for the porno?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. That was god dang it, man, I'm trying to think of his name.
$49.99. Titty.
The coach was it was Summer League, and it was gosh, what was his name? Because he was the coach of my brother too. He coached my brother's team.
I forget which coach's card it was under.
Fuck. Well, I he's an old guy. Well, he passed away, I think, now.
Did you get caught?
Was it Coach Ship?
No.
Wasn't him? Let's see. We had Ship. We had Wallenberg.
I think it was Wallenberg.
Yeah, was it Wallenberg?
It was Wallenberg because he was the one that we had to talk about it, I thought.
Yeah, like in the lobby of the hotel before we went to the game the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was him. But that wasn't the coach that I was thinking of. This was it was an older guy that we had. We used to fuck around with him from the Licking County Athletics. I'll never
You're talking
forget.
about the old guy?
Yeah.
The one that Hank Atkins always used to call Cotton because he looked like the coach or the old grandpa from King of the Hill.
Is
that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
What's his name?
But I'll never forget too, like Coach Beanie, when we took that team picture with Licking County Athletics and we did the shocker because our one coach lost a finger, so we did it for him. That was one of the funniest things. I actually have that picture.
That was
somewhere.
our sign for the backdoor play when I would sneak in behind when there was guys on
first base,
first and second.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd play behind and then come in on the quick move to first behind them. Shit worked every time, but we'd do the shocker was our signal.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, we had so much fun with that team. God.
It was a blast.
The joys of youth baseball.
It was.
Joys of youth sports.
We
Hey,
had
sports kids.
we had a sick team.
Yeah, we were good.
Speaking of sports, let's stay on the sports topic here. So I was unfortunate enough to turn on ESPN today, and I got to watch the most boring all-star skills competition
Perfect. You talk about that for 1 second. I'm grabbing my food.
of all time.
Was it
Tired.
football?
It was football.
in the United States, I don't want to say, because soccer obviously worldwide is the biggest, but in the United States, I would say football is probably number one.
Yeah.
And their quote unquote all-star weekend is the biggest pile of dog shit in the sports world. It's so bad. And the game sucks. Everything about it sucks. Nobody wants to watch it. Nobody wants to be a part of it. They had to hold it in Hawaii. I don't know if they still do.
No, it's in
They had to
Arizona
move-
this year. Or no, it's Vegas. It's in Vegas.
They
Thing.
put it in Hawaii because they wanted to get people to go, and
Yeah.
it didn't work.
Hey, we'll give you a trip. Who was it? Josh Allen. Josh Allen was supposed to be at the Pro Bowl, and he said, and Josh Allen said, "I can't go to the Pro Bowl. I'm injured," and then went and played Pebble Beach. And I'm like, smart man.
I was gonna say, you can't blame him for that.
And people were
No.
making fun of him. People were making fun of him for that, and I'm like, no, the man just called in sick and went and played golf. Like
I'd
everybody
rather
else.
I'd rather go play mini golf at the arcade than go to the Pro Bowl.
It's just, it's not fun. I think part of it has to do with it being at the end of the year, where it just doesn't, it doesn't fit. Like Derek, how much would baseball care about the All-Star festivities if it took place the week in between the NL and ALCS and the World Series?
It wouldn't get as much attention. The way it's set up now is perfect.
Every other sport does it midway through the season.
But I was going to ask too, because I didn't get to watch it. I had zero desire to see any of that shit. Was it even remotely entertaining?
It was garbage. It was so bad. It was.
So wait, let me ask you this.
Worst. Yes.
Would you rather than play the Pro Bowl, which is also
They're still
just as
doing
bad?
that. They're still doing that. They're
Yeah, but
playing
it's a
flag
flag
football on
football.
Sunday.
Yeah, that's
Flag football is so
that's
dumb.
so dumb. I want personally now for baseball, I want the All-Star game to go back to meaning something. You're putting all these All-Stars in there. You're voting them in. Let's make it meaningful. You win, you get home field advantage for the World Series. Same thing for the NFL. You win, you get to host the Super Bowl.
Could you imagine if there's two hosts and it comes down like there's two cities? One of the two cities is going to get it. Like it's
well, yeah,
yeah, because they do neutral site. But I think the big thing with the NFL is it takes place at the end of the season. It takes place at the end of the season. People are tired. People who made it to the championship series, they don't want to go play in the Pro Bowl. You just lost. You lost a chance. You lost a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I don't want to go to the Pro Bowl after that.
Agreed.
Or your body's exhausted. You're tired. You've been playing like crazy. You've been dealing with injuries all year. One of the most brutal team sports out there. It's been a long season, and now they're trying to trot you out, and you're gonna go play dodgeball in Vegas.
Well, and the other thing about it too is part of what makes specifically basketball and baseball so much fun about their All-Star weekends is the other things about it besides the All-Star game itself, which is fun.
Yeah.
But there's no air quotes skills competition that you could do in football that's anywhere near as exciting as the slam dunk competition, the home run derby, the 3-point competition, the futures game. Even the futures game is a lot of fun. A lot of people don't know about the futures game. It's incredible. But those things are all way better than anything football has to offer on All-Star.
Even the NHL. NHL
NHL
does a great
NHL,
one.
I think is the best one. I think they're the best All-Star. I think they're the best.
It's
top
hard
to
to beat.
bottom All-Star event.
To me, it's hard to beat the home run derby.
Well, I'm saying
especially now, they hit the fucking nail directly on the head. You talk as much shit as you will about Major League Baseball and not wanting to change and Rob Manfred being a piece of shit and this, that, and the
they
other.
do a great job with the home run derby.
The home run derby is fantastic. It is so much fun, and they injected so much more life into it with the new format. I love it. I will watch the home run derby from first swing all the way until the end now.
I think what I
Did
like
you watch
about
it before though?
I
Before
did,
they
but
changed
then
the
I would
rules?
kind of lose it halfway through. Like I'd watch the first couple of rounds, and it would get a little bit stale, and then I'd pick it back up towards the end.
The only reason
now,
I say it, well, okay,
so much more fun.
think about like that one year when Josh Hamilton had 600 home runs at Yankee Stadium.
Mm.
That was cool though. You can't tell
It
me that
was.
wasn't.
It was very cool. But then after that, it's like, well, nobody's topping that. You know, like you didn't even
But that
care
was-
about the next guy up because you knew that they weren't going to do that.
But then the new home run derby model gives us Vlad versus Pete,
Yeah.
and you get that storyline. I think they do a great job with it. I think that the change, I didn't like it at first. I think the timed element, I think is a little bit. It's better viewing. I think.
Yeah.
In terms
It
of,
adds that little bit of intrigue.
because you could just go on a bad slump and hit your first 8 balls into the ground or not over the fence. That could happen. And then, did you really get a fair shake of the home run derby? Because that also comes down to your pitcher as well. I think the timed event at least adds some intrigue. It adds the fact that you can get into a rhythm. So you can take your first 2 pitches, just send them as just hits, see what happens, and then get actually into it and still have a minute and 48 seconds left or whatever it is to go out there and
Yeah.
blast 16, 18, 20 home runs or whatever you want to do. But I think the big thing that hockey does very well, their skills competition is actually a skills competition. In the sense of the stuff they have the guys do is stuff that they do in the game or skills that they have honed for the most part from the get-go. Or for the league, like when you look, like for example, like when you look at the targets that they do, like the mini goal passing, and then they have the four targets inside the goal and shit like that. Like that's skills that these guys are actually good at, and you get to then see the best of the best do that at a high level, and then Zdeno Chara comes up and hits a slap shot at 175,000 miles an hour, and you're just like, do it again.
So
Yeah, I'm not
essentially, it
dis- I'm
sounds
not
like what they've done
disagreeing.
is they've taken drills and
Yeah,
made
literally.
them more exciting.
It's either tomorrow or Saturday Dire is their skills competition.
Okay,
forget
I'll
if
have to
tomorrow
check
or
it out
Saturday.
then.
It is incredibly fun to watch. They go all out. The breakaway competition is hilarious because that's like the fun. Their breakaway competition is the slam dunk contest. It's the
Which-
same thing.
That sucks right now for the NBA. It's bad. The
Well,
dunk
now it sucks
contest
because nobody
sucks.
wants to do it. It
Correct.
used to be like like Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins and all these guys. All the top guys, the most exciting
Buddy.
players in the game would do it. But now, like, the best players don't want to be in the dunk competition for whatever reason. They think they're going to get hurt or something. Which, how many times have you ever seen somebody get hurt in the dunk contest? Very rare.
Meanwhile, in the NHL, they have to tell guys no, they don't have enough space to be in
After.
the breakaway challenge because everyone wants to do a breakaway. That's just, and it's fun because when they do the breakaway challenge, there's a goalie, obviously, and it's not a goalie they pull from the stands. It is an NHL goalie. It's a goalie who's there to be an all-star, and it's funny because some of them will take seriously, and some of them, like I remember distinctly, I think it was Roberto Luongo and Carey Price turned around and tried to stop the pucks using their reflection in the glass.
Ha!
I've seen that.
And we're like watching and
them
like
lay
trying to
down.
move. Yeah. And just like trying to make the most obscene. I forget who it was. Somebody, it might have been Tukarask. I forget who it was. Started just to basically go full on penguin slide in the general direction of where the guy was going. They just tried to see how close he could get to him to try to disrupt. It's hilarious.
That's fun. I like this. This sounds cool. This
And
sounds
they
like
go
it's something
at
I
it.
like.
NHL one's definitely legit. Like there's no doubt because of there's not so many skills competitions in MLB. That's why I have MLB as 1. NHL is definitely number 2. 100%. If not, I would flip those 2. They are both legit. NHL is really fun to watch. I do watch that every year. NBA's got, 3-point shootouts pretty cool to kind of watch. You can see who the good shooters are, but it's just not the same. And NFL is just, it's garbage. It really is.
It's
It
all
sucks.
awful.
Yeah, I did
I-
like Subtape even put this out there. Bring back the QB long toss. I actually saw that today, and Jim
They did
Harbaugh
it.
was in there against Cordell Stewart and Brett Favre and Vinny Testaverde. No, not Testaverde. God dang it! Who was Brady's starter up in New England before he got there?
Oh,
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe.
I
Like
think the
stuff
thing-
like that. Like that's
I
cool.
think I think the thing that also kills the Pro Bowl and the Pro Bowl festivities, the home run derby sold out. It's always sold out. The NHL skills competition is sold out, and the NBA skills competition is sold out. Those arenas fill, and the fans want to be there. The tickets aren't as expensive as the All-Star game. You still get home run derby can get expensive depending where you sit, but overall, if you want to sit not in the home run section of the home run derby, you can get tickets pretty cheap because it's not the main event. They still do concerts. They still do all the extra stuff. You're still able to go and still experience an all-star weekend, still experience something all-star like. And the guys get to do these skill competitions in front of a full house, or do the home run derby in front of a full house, as opposed to you watch the NFL skills competition today. And like I said, I swear they paid people to be in there because it was in like a practice facility and there were maybe 100 fans. I think there were more team personnel and ESPN cameramen there and cheerleaders than fans watching the actual skills, watching the skills competition. And all it was silent. It was silent. It was just silent. You would just hear the football hit the target and that's it. There was no cheering. There was no like anything at all. It's just dead.
Yeah, like the other thing that hurt though is it used to be, now granted it's not, being in Hawaii. And it's not like anybody can just up and go to Hawaii.
It's in Arizona or LA. Was it
Right.
LA? I keep saying Arizona. But it's in the States.
It's in Arizona, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is in LA. I can't remember. But
I think it was in Vegas this year. Oh, it's more all over. But either way, no one cares.
But again, it's like
Can't
you
really
said too,
bother to remember where it is.
The
all
fact
of
that we
these
don't
other-
know where it is tells you exactly what you need to know about it.
Well, it's because
Nobody
all the
gives a
other
fuck.
events happen during the season. This happens at the end. Like they do this baseball, NHL, NBA, they all do it at the halfway point. NFL does not do it at the halfway point. That's another reason why it hurts.
So do you think, I don't know if this suggestion is viable, and maybe at some point, Derek, we get one of your NFL friends on, we can ask him this question. But do you think, because they want to add a second bye week, everyone's been asking for a second bye week in the NFL
They
for
deserve
a
it.
very long time. They do deserve it. Do you give everyone a second bye week, but make that the Pro Bowl break? Is that doable in the NFL?
No, because then
You
it's not
don't-
a bye week.
Well, it's not. It's not a bye week in the sense of everyone gets to rest, but it is a bye week in the sense of not everyone's going to the Pro Bowl. It's kind of the same thing with MLB. You get a break. Everyone gets the same break there, unless you choose to go to the All-Star game. Same thing with the NHL. Everyone gets a break. NBA, everyone gets a break, unless you're going to the All-Star game, and you can choose not to go, or choose not to participate. But could that maybe be an option and maybe bring the fans back into it? Because you're never going to get to see some stars. Like Patrick Mahomes is not going to go to any Pro Bowl activities if he keeps playing the way he's playing, because he's always going to be in the Super Bowl.
Well, that's a good thing.
Or correct. But he's also never going to be recognized as an. You see what I'm saying?
Be recognized as what?
Like he's going to be recognized as an All-Star, but he's never going to get that Pro Bowl appearance.
I think he's okay with it because the Super Bowl
I get
outweighs
that.
it.
I get that. But
But again, I think that's still the point, right? The Pro Bowl doesn't have that mystique and that honor
right.
that every other sport does.
Whereas if you put it in the middle of the season and make it a bye week, does it get a little mystique back?
Yeah. Sorry.
Like does it become something that people are interested in? And maybe you make it so if the AFC wins, the AFC gets to call the coin toss or whatever. If the NFC wins, the NFC calls the coin toss. Like something stupid. But make it I don't know if it's viable or not, but I feel like they got to do something about it.
I'm very distracted over here, and I
I can tell.
apologize. The damn dog keeps trying to chew on the blanket, and I can't get him to stop.
I don't know, Dyer, what do you think?
I think it probably does. I think it might take some convincing to the players. Just because for that same reason, football is so different from the other sports. From a physicality standpoint, just getting them to do that game in the middle of the season, and maybe you do something where you can't play more than 2 quarters or something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
Or
how it
just
should
play
be
flag
anyway. It's just
football.
like if no, I like that because it's just like in the All-Star game, you don't see starters going
No.
more than 4 innings or whatever. So yeah, I get that. Dyer, you're right with that.
Yeah, I think maybe that makes it a little bit of an easier sell, but I also think that from a standpoint of culturally, it's always been a big deal to be an MLB All-Star or an NBA All-Star. The Pro Bowl's never really been that. It's hard to build that cultural aspect of it. It takes time. It's not like they can just flip it and be like, well, now it's a big deal. They're going to have to figure it out, and then it has to grow in popularity with the fans, and the players have to want to do it. Like, I don't think there's any fix that they're going to have that changes it overnight.
I think it's too far gone. I don't know if it's fixable to the point where it's worth investing the money to try to fix it. Hi, Brucey.
He wants to get away
It may
from
not
Tony.
be.
I don't know. I don't know if it's doable or not. But it is a shame. It is a shame because the Pro Bowl itself, no one cares. Like when you actually watch it. And someone asked in here, in your chat, or was it? I want to find it so I can credit the right person. Someone asked, I can't find it, so I apologize. Someone asked, was it open to the public? Doctor 2330 asked, was the NFL thing open to the public? Not only was it open to the public, the tickets were free.
Yeah, and they couldn't get too many people there.
Free tickets. Like, and they can't get people there. That's a problem. It's a straight up problem. Maybe it doesn't need to be football. Maybe they do something else.
I mean, you have to though. You have to stick to your sport.
Do you? They didn't play football at the Pro Bowl anyway. They played stand around and catch.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, but think about it. Go to all your other All-Star games, sporting events, everything. They play that sport. They don't go and it's not like baseball has the football. They don't have a football game, you know?
Yeah, but they actually play their sport.
Correct.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's
like
why
they play the game.
You
as
have
opposed
to you have to find a way, and I to me it's. But the thing is, you can't like I don't know. Football's such a NHL's very, but guys don't fight or any of that stuff in the NHL All-Star game.
No, but
There's
you're
none
still
of that.
banged up.
But they're not going to the extremes, I guess. Like
And you're
that.
playing 3-on-3, so it's a little bit more.
The same thing with the NBA. It's just a
Well,
high-scoring game.
Well, the NBA is a joke. The NBA actual game itself is a joke.
Correct.
The skills competition's awesome. The game itself is a joke. It's not. It's almost as bad as the NFL Pro Bowl used to be, where it was just. But you also can't blame them. It's the end of the season. No one wants to get hurt at a Pro Bowl at the All-Star game at the end of the season.
Right.
Like your season's over. You want to go home. You don't want to get hurt there and risk your season. But speaking of football, let's talk about this just because it's been all over the news. And Derek, you have experience with this and can speak on this a little bit more than the average Joe. Brock Purdy will be receiving Tommy John. The NFL talking heads have given him a prognosis of 6 to 9 months before he can return to the field again. Derek, obviously, throwing motion's a little bit different in football, but Tommy John's
really
Tommy John.
not. It's honestly not as much different as people think it is. Because you're still putting just as much stress on the elbow.
TJ's not common though.
Correct.
In football.
Correct. But it's still got that same throwing motion. It's a different. I don't know how you want to put it. It's just different how they are in a way because you're still doing the same thing. With that, the timetable though. So it just sounds like, and I don't know. We don't know if he's either getting a cleanup or a true Tommy John surgery, repair the ligament situation. And maybe you do know. I don't know.
They haven't said. That's as far as I've seen.
Changes a little bit of the timetable. That would be the only thing. Obviously, with true Tommy John, it's 12 months that's like back on the field full go at 12 months. So I'm not sure how that's going to change, but this is a big blow for the 49ers. So it looks like you might as well try to get Jimmy G back with Trey Lance.
They're saying that they're not. They're saying they're parting ways. I saw that last night.
God.
Jimmy G will not be back in San Francisco next year.
Well, what was Trey Lance's injury?
What was it, like a knee or something?
I
Something
think it
pretty
was the
severe.
knee, yeah. But my question though is, if it is just a if it is just a cleanup, and he's still not allowed to begin throwing. Well, actually, we'll just ask you this, Derek. What is the general procedure for a cleanup variant of TJ in terms of back to throwing activities? Because you can obviously do other things. You can.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Harper did it. I think Trevor Story's doing it too right now. I think it's just a repair of the ligament around the ligament, not the actual Tommy John ligament, which would be, there's like when you put your arm out, there's like the bone and it's in between the two. Like you can feel your elbow and then there's a little tiny gap. That would be the only thing. I don't really know. That's more of a question I have to sit here and try to ask Dr. Meister about.
But with full blown TJ, you're
done.
You're done.
Yeah.
There's nothing for a while.
Yep. I'll put it this way, like, because I try to play golf with a few of the guys that had Tommy John. They can't even play golf. I think it takes at least 3 months out before you can start swinging a club. Might be even longer.
And that's if everything goes.
Could be 6 months, actually. Yeah. That's the full-blown Tommy John. You see a lot of guys get their flexor tendon repaired, which is in the forearm. That's a long injury or long timetable too. So the arm is just, there's so much to it that you don't really want to fuck that up. You got to try to take care of it as much as you can. So it's I don't see him coming back as quick as they try to make it seem.
Well, then on top of that, you then have to ramp back up for football activities again.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start.
Well, technically you are building up. I will say, like, guys are throwing, once you get to about, I think, 11 months out, guys are starting to, you're already playing catch. Like, you start playing catch, I want to say 10 months. But, like, you have to build up all your arm strength. You have to build up enough to get off the mound, which is usually close to the 12-month mark. And then it's like, once you hit the 12-month mark, that's when you start really pushing it more off the mound. And then again, we're building up arm strength and trying to get that speed and velocity back up there.
What about things like lifting? Now we're talking football. You're getting hit. You're trying to build that up again.
That's tough. That's a good question. I don't know.
Because you can't be
you can't be bending and going out like a bench press. And curl, you definitely can't be doing anything. That's causing more stress. I don't know. That's a really good one.
Because you would think in football, part of the big run up to the season is getting back in game shape, getting that lifting regiment, that strength and conditioning regiment that football's famous for. And if you can't use your throw, you can't use your arm. I mean, you can still do stuff. There's still things you can do that don't require your arm, obviously. But your job is also to throw the ball. Yeah,
I mean, you gotta really take care of that. That's the big thing. And I don't know. You really got me curious about that now, of when you can actually start working out and all that good stuff that you want to do once you have time. I mean, you're literally in a brace. Like, you're in a brace for the first, I want to say, like 3 weeks.
Well, I
I
didn't go through it obviously, but you met him, Sherlock. Jake went through it. He got TJ, and he was in. We called it the Terminator brace for about a month.
Yeah, you can't. That shit's tough.
He was immobile. You couldn't do anything. You had to crank it to different angles and hold it. He had to hold it at different angles for specific sets of time, and had to leave it on when he slept.
That's the worst.
Take it up,
Especially like me, I'm a guy that sleeps on my side, and that's gonna be weird sleeping. Like, I'm stuck.
With your T-Rex arm.
Yeah. You know why T-Rexes are angry, right?
What?
You know why T-Rexes are so angry, right?
Why are they so angry?
Because they can't jack off. But I
That would
figured
make me
that might
angry.
have got Dyer. Yeah, I didn't get him
No,
nothing.
I got you
Actually,
nothing.
it was profound. It made sense.
Yeah,
Stem cells do help, but the only thing is, it's still going to take a period of time to recover because you're building the strength back up into that, and you have to give that thing time to repair, and then you're just going to wear it back down again. But I mean, Garrett Richards did stem cell, and then they ended up having Tommy John. Somebody else did stem cell too, and then they ended up having Tommy John.
I think we looked at this. I forget who we looked at this. There's only been like 1 or 2 quarterbacks that have ever gotten Tommy John. So I don't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure we
Did we
looked
look it
that
up?
up. I think we did. Look it up again. I think I'll just Google search now. So there is an update since it says he does need surgery to repair the UCL. However, there's all this slim chance that it will end up being Tommy John.
So he's just getting a repair.
So he's just getting a repair. So in that case, he could still be back.
He'd be
In
back
theory.
in 6 months.
Yeah, 6 to 9,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 9.
which will put him August,
Close to the first game.
close to start first game.
Yeah, pretty close.
And will
Carson
he
Palmer
be?
had it.
Did he? It's just not common in the NFL. It's not. It in no way, shape, or form is it common. Baseball, it's a dime a dozen now, unfortunately.
Yep.
And it's not just a dime a dozen in the pros. It's a dime a dozen in high school. It's a dime a dozen in college. In
It's
indie
crazy
ball.
too. They're trying to figure out how it's gone up so much. Weighted balls.
I saw a statistic that said that it's crossed the threshold that, statistically speaking, over half, excuse me, of the pitchers in baseball will have Tommy John at some point in their career.
Makes sense. That makes sense. While we're at it, while we're on the topic of football, let's talk about the 2 games that happened. Obviously, the San Francisco game didn't really end up being much of a game with a 4th-string quarterback. You can only ask for so much in reality. And the Eagles defense did what the Eagles defense does. The other side, the other coin, was the more entertaining, if not controversial, game between the Bills and the Chiefs. What were your guys' thoughts on the game and also the refereeing that may or may not have happened in the second game?
It's fixed.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable calls. I get it. You know, I did want the Bengals to win. I will say that. I wanted to see Joe Burrow win just for the obvious
Redemption arc.
reasons of how we talked about the previous week. You know, with Corey on here, I think it would have been cool for him to be able to see something like this and experience it. And there was a lot of some really blatant missed calls that could have gone the Bengals' way. And I'm sure there was probably some calls too for the Chiefs, but I mean, it was just a very, very odd game and ending.
I think the thing that kind of took the legitimacy out of the Bills' complaints about the signal calling was, even with the signal calling the way it was, they had a legitimate shot of winning that game until the final play.
Oh, you're
When
talking
you
about the
did-
game before.
No,
The Bills.
not the Bills, the Bengals.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, what?
Listen, it's been the Bengals and the Chiefs. The Bengals and the Chiefs. When my brain is so just not just, you know, it's
Yes, you deserve one
anyway.
of those.
I do. I mean, I want to give me one of those for rebounding because I can do that. But in the Bengals Chiefs game, they were winning that game even with all the blown calls up until the unnecessary roughness, which was unnecessary in every
And
way.
that was clear as day. That was not one of the calls that I think
No.
anybody can question. That was as fucking obvious as it gets.
But then you add what, 15 yards, and all of a sudden it's an easy kick.
Oh yeah, for sure. They turned a 60-yard kick into a 45-yarder, and
Which is a
Harrison
punt.
Butker hits that in his sleep.
And you went from a pretty much not guaranteed win, but a good chance of going back to the Super Bowl to you need an Ohio State to happen. Sorry, Dyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where do we think it goes from here? You got Patty Mahomes returning the Super Bowl.
State Farm,
Again.
by the way.
Yeah. And
A lot of people are on to that.
are they? Is that the running theory?
There was a lot of people putting it out there that it's like a new conspiracy, which I hate that they're using the word conspiracy theory on this one because it's just, to me, this is dumb when it comes to this because, like, I get it. Yes, the name of the place is State Farm, where they're going. Patrick Mahomes is the State Farm guy. Like, I get it, but I'm still taking the Eagles.
You think? You think the Eagles defense stands up?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Dyer.
I think it all depends on if Pat Maballs is healthy or not. If that ankle is 100%, I think that KC has as good a shot as anybody. Mostly because Philadelphia's offense has kind of been fake good all year long. You know, Jalen Hurts is pretty good at a lot of things. He's not great at anything. And I don't think that if he has to shoulder the game and go out and outscore Pat Mahomes, I don't think he's capable of doing that. And I don't think they're a good enough running team, again, to be able to make it, if it's a one-dimensional game, you know, that running game is not good enough to carry the offense. So, you know, so much of what they do on offense relies on everything else. I think if KC can just take one thing away, that's going to be all she wrote. And, you know, the defense is great. Philly's defense is great, but man, on that stage, I don't think Pat Mahomes is going to let what happened, you know, 3 years ago, whenever it was, against the Buccaneers. He's not going to let that happen again.
I'm in the same boat here as Dyer. I think that Mahomes adds another ring to his collection. I think at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a great game. But if he's healthy, I think we're gonna see some classic Mahomes moments because that Chiefs team just finds a way.
They do.
They just their offense just finds a way every time, and I think, you know, it's gonna be a friendly stadium as well. And I think that the Chiefs are gonna end up winning this one. Although I don't want either team to win, but I guess the Chiefs are better than the Eagles. I don't have to deal with Philly fans for another year. In terms of thoughts on scripting, I guess I'll start with that, and then Dyer will go, and then we'll let Derek answer from the perspective of a professional player, sports athlete. I think there's I've really butchered that, didn't I? There are two sides to scripting that I want to talk about, and then I'll let Dyer go, and then we'll let Derek go with it. There's scripting from the player's perspective, and they're scripting from the league's perspective. And I think those are two very different things. It is extremely rare that a professional athlete is ever going to, in a team sport, is ever going to throw a game. It's extremely, has it happened? Yes, it has. Is it common? No. Is it even common in martial arts? That kind of thing? No. It does happen, but it's not overly common because the risks of being caught are so great and the punishment is so strong that if you get caught once, you're done. You're never getting a chance again. You're tarnished. It's not happening. You're gone.
Totally blacklisted at that point.
Completely blacklisted as a player. And all your teammates hate your guts. Everyone there wants to win. No professional athlete has ever, in a professional sport, has ever agreed willingly to throw a game at the rate that people think it happens. Now, from a league standpoint, I don't think that they script seasons because it's impossible to script seasons. Because in order to actually script a season, you have to be like, hey, Derek, I need you to win like only 3 games this year. That's just not going to happen. It's not. But you can influence a season, and that is more common. That does happen in how you instruct officials to officiate a game and things and alterations you make to the game, a la baseballs. So there are things that a league can do to script, or a organization, FIFA, can do to script or try to script a narrative. But I think I think people trying to put it on the players. No, no, absolutely not. Dyer?
No, I tend to agree with you 100%. I don't think that there are enough players in the league that would be on board with scripting the whole season like that. I think it's naive to think that it is that way, and that all of those people that are competitive and competed at a high level for their entire lives would go out there and just say, okay, well, that's over now. Now I'm an actor, and I'm going to go out here and play out this script. But on that same coin, the other side, exactly right. The league has enough control to be able to influence things in the direction and at least make it more probable that the outcome that they want will occur.
And you've seen it in MMA and boxing where fights have been thrown. That's happened.
Sure.
But it's also extremely rare, and generally there's a lot of money exchanging hands. And it's also not exactly hidden that so and so threw a fight. Generally.
Yeah, if somebody's taking a fall, you can usually see.
But it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek, as the professional athlete here, you want to?
Well, I saw the video of I think it was Arian Foster. Is that who it
Yeah.
was?
He was trolling, but it started a whole.
Yeah, it got everybody's attention, and people actually bought into this or whatever. And then you had other athletes that were responding to it, saying this never happened, which is true. We don't wake up and get to the field and it's like, here's the script. This is what we're doing today. So there is no script. I want to eliminate that real quick. Every team that I've played for, there has not been a single soul that I've played with or against, however you want to look at it, and came into the field and said, today we're going to lose. I'm going to make sure of it. Nobody has ever crossed that line. We're all trying to win. We're all playing for the same purpose. It's just like a team that loses a bunch and they're like, man, this team needs to tank so we can get the first draft pick. That's not going to happen either, no matter what. The only way that would happen is if they started getting rid of the players that were on that team that were causing them to win, and they want to get younger guys in so that way they don't play as well as the guy who does want to win, I guess. I don't know how to really word that correctly, but yeah, there's not a single soul that's out there that doesn't want to win. You know, everybody's out there trying to play because they care about the team. They want to win. They're here for a reason. Now, I will say I have played with guys, I should say, there's only been one person that really stood out, and I'm not saying who, that actually was okay with being sent down to AAA because he was having more fun there than he was in the big leagues, which blew my mind that somebody literally said, I don't care. I don't want to be here. Send me to AAA. I'd rather play there. It's a lot more fun for me than the big leagues.
That's it.
Which is mind-boggling. I still can't believe it. That was in
insane.
Texas. It was a team in Texas. It was early in my career. And yeah, I was blown away by that. But again, that still states the fact that there's still not really somebody out there that doesn't want to win, that wants to blow a game. Because at the end of the day, if you do get found, if it's found out that you blew a game, you will get absolutely destroyed. You might get murdered because there are some degenerates out there that are gambling on you, and you go and cost them that because you did it on purpose. People would be upset. Yeah,
You're going to be a degenerate if you're gambling.
Well, you know, it's just the way it is. But that's the thing. I with everything that was said, yeah, there's no script. I've never seen a script in my locker once in my entire career of playing, and there will never be a script. So I don't buy the script bullshit. I don't buy the tanking bullshit. I don't buy any of that because it's just there's not a single soul that wants that. We've all signed up for a reason. That's to come out here and play this game as hard as we possibly can for those that are out there watching us.
Also, I think people need to understand how hard it would be to script a season. Like the amount of skill that you would need to have would be insane. The amount of skill to run those plays efficiently, make it look real, and then also be able to enact exactly what they want to happen is incredibly difficult. And that's with the sport like football. Baseball would be just as difficult. Can you imagine? Derek, you need to strike this dude out. You need to walk this guy. You need to strike this guy out. And you're going to give up a home run to this guy. Okay. So
Like,
there are
have
times
to
where you
make
can
that
throw
happen.
fastballs down the middle to that guy who's supposed to hit a home run, and he still won't do it.
100%.
Like, it's not possible.
Vladimir
It doesn't
Guerrero is the
work.
best example, senior that is. You could throw that guy a ball that bounces off the ground and he will still hit it out. And that could have been scripted like, all right, I'm bouncing this. There's no shot in hell you're going to hit this.
Yeah.
And he does. And then you'll throw him one right down the dick and he misses it. Like, you're 100% right. Like, it's like, what the fuck? So, yes, I get that. I'm with you there.
And then on top of that, when you're talking about, all this, it's scripted or whatever, could you imagine, Derek, you as a kid, you played your entire life playing baseball. You went through JUCO, came up through the ranks as quickly as you did, but you still went through the ranks. And your entire dream was to play in and win a World Series. As a kid, that's all you wanted.
That's what I wanted now.
Right.
So it's like saying this game 6 or whatever,
Yeah.
the World Series, like that was scripted to get beat by the Cardinals.
No shot that you would ever, like, not a living being would be like, I'm going to lose the World Series.
Yeah, there's not a single
purpose.
soul on that team that wanted that.
There's not an amount of money in the world.
For
Maybe
how
there
much?
is.
Think about it. For how much? Because I know there's some Ranger fans in here. For all the Ranger fans in here, no shot in hell would they ever want that or want to experience that. No shot. No.
Like that. Like, it blows my mind that people. Again, do I think that league fixing's a thing? Yes, I think that's been pretty much established, that the leagues control and basically try to do what they want and act silly rules, enforce rules in one game that don't enforce in the other game. Give certain teams certain baseballs, give certain NBA teams the will to do whatever they want while calling everybody else. It's in every league, it happens. But to put it on the player, I don't see it.
Yeah, no chance.
And the thing with the refs and the umps being in on it, I'll speak on this, and then of course,
Well,
Derek, you
add
can't.
that one ref. I don't know if you saw, but he got caught that his son bet on the game after his dad was reffing it. I don't know if you saw that. He got caught.
I did not see that.
Didn't see that either.
Is
The
he done?
referee, so the referee went on the radio and was talking about, I had no idea that my son had bet on the game against the Chiefs and the outcome worked out for him. So they're investigating him. I can't think of the guy's name. It's the referee, though.
Here's the thing people got to realize, too. The amount of umpires and referees in a league, if you were to get them all to fix calls a certain way, first of all, every athlete would pick
Angel
up on it
Hernandez.
immediately.
I'm just kidding.
But
Just kidding.
but every athlete would pick up on it immediately. Or if there was a group of umpires or group of refs that, were scripting the games or trying to script the games, that would be the worst kept secret in sports.
Well, they're saying that, for instance, because it's brought up, the Celtics-Lakers game with LeBron getting fouled at the end, the referee that refereed that game has refereed the Celtics, and they are 17-2 when he is reffed. So they're questioning that too.
Well, there's a difference between there's a difference in my mind. Again, feel free to disagree with me, between an individual being corrupted and the entirety of the body being corrupted.
I
feel like if it was, we've seen it happen before where the NFL is like, oh, well, we're going to put an emphasis on this, on quarterback safety and blows to the head. Well, obviously those calls get called differently for certain people than they do for others.
Yep.
Can we agree on that?
Yeah, and that's
Because
kind of how it
it's
is.
true.
That's
Yes.
how it is anyway. Like if I'm pitching and Terps is batting, I'm going to get more calls than he will as the batter just because I have more time than him. I have, 13 years versus, let's say he's a rookie. Now, if it's the other way around and I'm the rookie and he's the veteran guy, then he's going to get, like, anything that's close, they're probably going to be like, no, he's up at the plate. We'll give him that. That, I've seen that, and that's okay with me because that guy has earned it. Terps has earned his strike zone because he's been in the league for so long. I need to establish myself, and I need to earn that. Now, they're not going to dick me over to where it's like a foot outside and he's getting strike calls. No. But if it's a borderline call, they're going to go probably more towards the veteran guy.
One of the other things that came up from specifically the Eagles game, actually, from the catch that wasn't, another one of those, there it came up as actually a decently good argument. I want your guys' take on this, that instant replay is being overused, and it gets to a certain point where when you can slow it down to a certain spot, you can basically see whatever you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a 1 second clip and drag that out to a 20, a 15, 20 second version of that 1 second IRL time, and basically just look at that and see whatever you want to see, which is what TV does all the time. Do you think it gets to a point specifically with things like football where it is so bang bang? Baseball's not as needed, obviously, but in sports like football, do you think there needs to be a limit onto what you can use instant, like the speeds at which you can look at instant replay, what speeds you can bring it down to? Because you can basically find whatever you want to find.
I think speed's fine. Keep it how it is, however, because you want to be able to get the call correct. The thing is, like, for instance, with baseball, they say that they have guys sitting in New York that are paid just to watch that. Maybe that's what the NFL needs to, so they can speed that up a little bit. But the challenge-wise, to me, that's I don't know what plays shouldn't be reviewed and what plays should be reviewed.
Dyer, what do you think?
I think that there's a lot to this question. It's kind of a loaded question, right? Because regardless of how many cameras you have on a play, there's always going to be that degree of subjectivity. That's a word. To where you see something different than what I see. I've seen plays where they're explaining what's going on and they're slowing it down. They're like, and you can see here his hands are under the ball. And I'm like, you do not have a fucking brain in your head if you don't think the ball's touching the ground there. Like, different people are going to see different things and have different opinions on what they're seeing. You could see the same thing from the same angle and the same point of view. I could be sitting right next to me on the TV and we could have a 20-minute argument about whether or not the ball hit the ground. Same exact thing, but I have an opinion of what I saw, and yours is different. So there's always going to be that element. I think when you talk about what plays should be reviewable and what plays shouldn't be, that's also a slippery slope. I do think that it would be valid for certain penalties to be reviewable, because so many times a penalty gets called, and it's just so egregious that it either didn't happen or it did happen and the flag didn't come out, that it makes sense to allow that to be a second look. But again, slippery slope, because then there's still that degree of subjectivity to where, what is pass interference? How bad does it have to be?
What's a catch?
Exactly. It's back and forth. Both guys, there's a lot of contact on both ends, so who do you call it on? So there's that certain degree, you have to just say, this is the referee, this is the umpire, and this is how they call it. And it's not really even a bias. It's just how they tend to see the game. And I don't necessarily think that means bias. That's just how that person's point of view tends to be. And that's not the same thing as a bias. You know what I mean?
I think, too, you bring up a good point with slippery slope, because, like, if you wanted to, you could find holding on every play.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Every offensive lineman holds every single play. That's no secret.
Yep.
Everyone knows that.
They'll even tell you that.
They do. They straight up say everyone cheat. Like, we all cheat.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to. That's just, well, if they don't, quarterbacks are getting blown up every day.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, they do hold, and Burrow still ends up on his ass. But
yeah, he has a bad offensive line.
Yeah, but that's part of it too. But I think that I think baseball has a few non-reviewable calls that should be reviewable. Some of the fair foul shit.
That I don't know, but I know you can't do balls and strikes.
Balls and strikes make
typical
sense.
Stuff, yeah.
That makes sense. but it's just one of those things where I think replay is good and we need it, but there still also I think has to be some sort of element of humanity still in there a little bit for some things. And then I think Dyer's right. We need to determine what we can and cannot call, what can be reviewed and what can't be reviewed. And Derek's right too. It needs to be sped up. Like you watch some of these baseball replays that take 10 minutes, and the Jumbotron's already showed he's been out for like 7.
There is, like, I will say, and you are right on that. There are some though that are the other way where you spend like 20 minutes and you can't figure out what it is that they're looking at that would
makes
say
sense.
he's safe, and then all of a sudden they come out with the thing. It's like, yes, this is what we got. He's out.
He's out.
We have an angle, which that's the one thing that sucks is they need to show that angle too. It can't be just what we can only see. They need to show that other angle too.
That's horseshit. It's the biggest cop out in the world. They're like, well, they had an angle we didn't see. Show me the damn angle then.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't believe you until I see it.
That's where
Sorry,
it gets
Terps, I cut you
questionable.
off.
Oh, you're good. I also want MLB umpires to have to do what NFL and NHL refs do. Like I want the breakdown.
MLB's starting to do
They're
it.
starting to get there a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not fully there yet.
Still waiting for him to be held accountable.
I think that's every league.
Correct. I know.
I think that's every league. I think FIFA's the only one that even tries, and even that it's iffy at best.
Yeah.
Like
I think the explanation should have to be at least 100 words, and
100 words.
somewhat. Basically, you have to be Ed Hockley and just make it this ridiculously long-winded explanation about something that you could have just said. If you go back and watch some of Ed Hockley's explanations on calls that they overturned or not, you could just said ruling on the field stands. This didn't happen, but he would just like explain the whole play from start to finish, and therefore the ruling on the field stands.
Did you guys see the explanation as to the redo play, the 39 redo play?
Yeah, it's horseshit.
So the explanation that was given by a non-media member of that broadcast, or by someone who wasn't involved with it, the explanation that was given was the guy who there was a bunch of breakdown on that play in general from the referees just having mental lapses, which can happen, and the guy who waved it off was like the last. They claim was like the last resort. Like he was the guy who goes through like all of his checks, and then the last thing he checks is the clock, kind of thing. So
Sure.
like it shouldn't get to him anyway, but it did. The reason why they said that they redid the play and why they do and why it happened was because if they don't redo that play and a foul happens or you have to enforce that. Like if it's like an unnecessary roughness or personal foul, you have to still enforce that foul on a play that didn't happen. If that makes sense.
That's dumb. I mean, if it's unnecessary roughness or a personal foul, I mean, obviously you would do that because you do it.
But you would still have
Inside
to
or
wind
outside play
back and
anyway.
replay the play anyway. But the foul would still count, is what they were saying. You would still have to enforce that foul, or if there was targeting, for example. You still have to enforce the targeting, but the play didn't exist. You have to go back and replay the play again to fix the clock.
So my question is this, because I did see the video of him coming in and waving his arms. Why didn't he just keep fucking doing it and just blowing whistle and doing cartwheels until play stopped? Because at a certain point he had to have at a certain point he had to have stopped because the play went through and nobody knew what was going on until we saw this replay.
My question is, and I don't know this, I don't know, but are they not all wired together? Does
One
anyone
would
know?
think.
Because like
Maybe they're not.
Because like in FIFA, all the refs are always communicating. They all have in-ear mics and they're always communicating. And for people who say that it's too loud in Arrowhead, they are doing this during the FIFA World Cup final and they're able to hear it. So it's not, let's not bullshit with the sound. crap because that's.
Did you know? Hold on. With that said, too, did you know that John Elway made the referees tell, I think it was the Chiefs when he played against them, to go to the Super Bowl to quiet down, and the referees got on the mic and said, and I can't remember who it was. That's why I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure it was the Chiefs, but the referee got on the mic and literally said, "This is a warning to the Chiefs crowd. If you don't quiet down, this will be a 15-yard penalty against the Chiefs." This is a real thing. Yes, this was a real thing. Look it up. I promise you. I cannot make this up. So, and that just going with what Terps was saying, like the crowd noise is there. That's just the way it is. But yes, I wanted to point that out because when Terps was saying that, it just made me revisit
Yeah, it was
that.
the Chiefs.
Okay, so there you go. The Chiefs got yelled at for being too loud.
But my thing
I'm calling his bluff on that one.
But my thing is here. Why wouldn't you want all your officials to be wired up? Your quarterback's wired up. Quarterback's wired up to the sideline.
Yeah, but he's only wearing
that's
an earpiece.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But
I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. Yes, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
Just forget me.
If your
Forget about me.
officials aren't wired up, especially in football and you're so spread out, right? Wouldn't it make sense to be able to have a lapel mic or to have something, or the way soccer does it? I don't know how much World Cup you watch, but they have the wire mic that's taped to the side of their that's taped right there.
Yeah.
And they're always talking. The refs are there's actually recordings. You can go on YouTube and watch a referee viewpoint recordings of entire games, and all you hear is just them all communicating. I got that. I got this. I got that. I got that. Did you see that? I got this. Did you see that? I got this. And it's constant communication. I don't know. Is that a thing in the NFL? And if it's not, why isn't it? Because that would be the perfect time there for you to be able to blow your whistle, or if not able to blow your whistle, to be able to yell as you're running in, bad time, bad time, bad time, bad time, bad time.
Right.
To let everybody else know, all the other refs know, we need to stop this play now.
Yep.
It shouldn't come down to one guy on the field running in from 40 yards behind the play waving his arms.
Like, that just makes it doesn't make sense for them to be wired up in like baseball. They don't need to be. I mean, I'm sure it might be useful, but it's not necessary. Like, it would be useful in hockey, but like, I just don't understand why that's not a thing. And if it is a thing, why was it not utilized in that situation?
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I like that
I don't
idea.
know. Yeah.
Give us the headsets.
You give them the little right here.
Surprised the umpires don't do that too.
I don't. Is it as
They don't really
in
need
baseball?
it. No, but it's still.
Why would you need it in baseball? Curious, like from your where would you find that beneficial? Close plays, maybe,
It's
or
just
out of
them
view
positioning.
plays.
Just them positioning. One of those balls in the gap, and maybe runners are on. They're trying to figure out which base to cover. Whatever. I got this. You got that. Whatever. But yeah, I'm just being a little facetious here with the baseball side of it.
No, I know, but still, like, I'm sure they could still find.
Because I mean, anything that's moving a lot, like NHL, I could see them doing that. Maybe, but you don't really need to, just because it's not as much space to cover.
Correct.
It's really just going to have to be NFL and obviously soccer.
And soccer already does it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those
Yeah.
would be the two. Golly.
Yeah. And it's just funny to me. Like, I see the comment. And it's a good comment. The NFL still uses 2 sticks and no chain to determine first downs. You think
That's
they
true
would have
too.
technology? At the same time, though, their markers still have lasers in them. They still try to laser test. There's still sensors in the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a cop-out, too. I mean, that's like saying you don't need to draw lines on the field because you can use a laser to tell if it's fair or foul. But it's something that everybody can see. That's the point,
It's
is
a
that
physical,
everybody
yeah.
can see it, because then you can't just say, well, the laser said this.
What
You
if
just
the
have
laser's
to
wrong?
take their word for it.
Yeah. I just think that more communication is always better communication in terms of. One last thing I want to talk about football before we move on, or whatever we end up doing. Tom Brady is actually retiring for good. He is going to go take his talents and $357 million over to Fox. That's what they're paying him. I think it's $375 million, actually. Is what they're
It's like
paying
I
him.
just keep getting more money.
He's just that good.
He's that
I
good.
guess. God dang.
But Tom Brady has had a little bit of a ridiculous career, and I just want to go over some numbers and get you guys. You guys may have seen this graphics. You might be cheating. I don't know yet. I don't know. And before anyone gets on my ass, it's regular season. Does not include the postseason. All right. So when we go over these stats, I know particularly Cowboys fans are going to say something,
They'll be
but
all
it's
right.
regular season only. Cool. We said we got that over with. Okay. Awesome.
Can we just amend that real quick, Terps? Because you yourself are a Cowboys fan now, so you
I'm
should
yelling
say
at
that
myself too. Don't worry.
Cowboys fans like
And
myself.
Like myself. You're right. You're
It's
right.
true.
You're right. I'll give you.
It's all right. I cheer for him too, so you're good. I have to because I cover him here with the Dallas Sports Radio. It's like
But
you
the-
knew it was going to happen, so I had to.
But the point is, regular season.
Correct.
Cool. Okay. So do you guys know who he has the most wins against?
Well,
Cowboys.
he's
regular
undefeated
season.
against the Cowboys.
Not the most wins though.
If I had to guess the most wins, it'd be somebody in his division.
It'd be like the Saints or something.
No, he's not very good against the
Or no,
Saints.
never mind. I'm thinking now. It
Um,
All
would have had to
time.
been somebody
All time.
in. Yeah, it would have had to been somebody in the AFC East though.
It's not the Jets. The Jets are number 2. It's
the
not Miami.
Dolphins?
Miami's number
Uh,
3.
Well, it can't be New England.
He's 1-0 against New England.
Yeah. What's the fourth team in the AFC?
The Jets.
It's
It's
the
the
Bills.
Bills.
We see
Bills.
he is
The Bills.
33-3 all
No.
time
God.
against the Buffalo Bills in the regular season.
That makes sense though, because for the longest time, the Bills were fucking horrible. Like, there was a time where the Bills sucked before they got Josh Allen, where they had guys like EJ Manuel and JP Lossman and all these dudes. I can't remember who was before that. The Bills were pretty bad for a long time. People don't, remember that as much.
Correct. So obviously he's 1-0 against the Patriots, against his former team. He 4-0 against the Buccaneers, 7-0 against the Cowboys, 6-0 against Minnesota. I'm just double checking here, but I'm pretty sure that I am right in this. Who is the only team that he has a losing record against in the regular season? There's one team that has his number.
Packers.
Cleveland Browns.
No, he's 7-2 against the Brownies.
Yeah, it's definitely not us. Get out of here,
As
Dyer.
bad as the Bills were for all that time, the Browns had been worse.
Ravens.
No, not the Ravens. He is 6-3 against the Ravens.
Why do I feel like it's got to be somebody from our division, Dyer?
I'm going to say the Giants.
Not the Finns.
Ooh, you
It
know
is-
what? That is the Giants. They haven't.
It's not the Giants. He's 6-1 all time against the Giants in the regular
Oh,
season.
regular
that's right.
season. I
That's
forgot. I
regular
missed that.
season.
You're
I
thinking
forgot that part.
postseason, Dyer.
See, I'm falling into that trap, and you even said it.
Packers. I'm staying with the Packers.
He is 4-3 against the Packers.
Chiefs?
Correct. He is 5-6 against the Chiefs.
The Chiefs were pretty damn good even before Pat Mahomes when they had Alex Smith.
Yeah.
And even before that, they were pretty good. Back when they had like Priest Holmes and all them.
But yes, the Chiefs are the only team that he has a losing record against in his he has a bunch of teams that he played close. The Saints he was 6-5 against all time. I'm only going with teams that he actually has a little bit of playing because like 4-3 against Green Bay, 4-3 against LA, formerly St. Louis, but that's 7 games. It's not a huge sample size comparatively to some of the other teams he's played. Broncos is 8-6 against the Broncos, owned the Steelers, 9-4 against the Steelers, 12-3 against Indianapolis. So it's just amazing that he's able to sustain this level of success. And the crazier thing is I saw this stat, and I've been trying to find it. I can't find it right now, but Tom Brady has Hall of Fame numbers in 3 different decades, and each one of those individual in his 20s, 30s, and 40s would each individually be Hall of Fame worthy.
Sorry, I missed what you said. Because I have to cover the Mavs, and I was watching this. The Mavs are about to possibly blow a 30-point lead. They're only up
30
by
point-
4 right now with 22 seconds left on the clock. This is
Jeez.
ridiculous. I can't fucking believe this. Now, Luka's out, though. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, I saw he went out with an ankle injury.
Yeah, Luka got hurt.
You should move
So-
to Cleveland.
So Dyer, you ready for
Stop
this?
it, Dyer. The Cavs are actually really good.
I was talking about the Indians.
Oh, sorry.
So you ready? So
Go
in
for it.
in his 20s, 21,564 passing yards, 147 passing touchdowns, 3 Super Bowl wins. Hall of Fame numbers.
Yep.
Right there. In his 30s, 40,018 passing yards, 309 passing touchdowns, 2 Super Bowl wins. Hall of Fame numbers.
Yep.
Hall of Fame.
In his 40s, 27,632 passing yards, 193 passing touchdowns, 2 Super Bowl wins. Hall of Fame numbers. The man had 3 Hall of Fame careers
3 different decades.
in 3 different decades in one career.
2 different teams too.
Yes. That's insane.
How many quarterbacks have not taken a team to the Super Bowl? How many quarterbacks have won Super Bowls with 2 different teams? It can't be that many.
It's a good question.
Let's see. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are the only starting quarterbacks
There
who
you
have
go.
won Super Bowls for 2 NFL teams. Craig Morton and Kurt Warner have both started for 2 teams, but have not
Yeah,
won.
Kurt
Forgot
Warner.
about Kurt Warner. They should have won that year too. The fucking Steelers.
Hmm.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, I mean, that's Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, two legends, absolute legends. Now, really, I guess there's only one old guard quarterback left, and that's Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where's he gonna
changing of
end
the
up?
guard.
The pride and joy of our editor, his favorite player ever.
Well, he's leaving, so
That's everything I've heard is he's leaving.
yeah, he's 100%. He's out.
He's
He's
gone.
like such a bastard.
Did you see that Devontae Adams tweeted out a cryptic tweet that he may be going out to the Raiders?
I did see something a while back that was kind of a dark horse landing spot for him was Oakland, because Oakland is essentially a quarterback away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Carr's not a piece of shit, but he's got a lot of weapons that he's not done anything with. Their
And-
defenses haven't been always the best. Offensive lines haven't always been great, but
Yeah, Vegas.
they've never been horrible.
Listen, you're right. Vegas, not Oakland. Yeah.
Did I
Yeah,
say Oakland?
I think we both did.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same. Yeah, we knew what you meant, though.
Yeah.
The fucking Raiders. Everybody knows we're talking about these damn people pissing me off.
But yeah, I mean, if he goes there, I think that hooking back up with Devontae Adams again, though, would be huge.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah, it would be.
That's a proven duo right there.
Thank you, Seb.
And with a legitimate elite running back.
Yes.
Elite.
That might be a. Do they become contenders immediately then, Dyer?
Yes.
If he goes
absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
there?
They got to the playoffs 2 years ago. They had no business being there.
Wait,
If
where's
they
the
get
Super?
a guy like Aaron Rodgers, then absolutely they are 100%, I would say, a top 5 team in the league.
Where's the Super Bowl at next year?
I
Is
don't
it technically the 2023 Super Bowl or 2024 Super Bowl?
This chat for some reason was held.
got it, I got it.
I was gonna say that's. Give me the Indians and Redskins. No PC around here. You right? You can say that in here. The Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins. All
Listen,
except Washington football team, just because that was pretty funny.
that was pretty fun. And then they botched that so badly when they put up the anyway. So it's State Farm, and then it goes to Vegas. Allegiant is next year.
Oh, scripted. Scripted.
Dyer's like, I'm not letting this go.
Scripted. They knew it. They knew it. God, they knew it. He's going to go there. Dude, this has been decades in the making. You think
Wait.
that they don't know what they're doing? They know exactly what they're doing.
Question.
They had Devontae Adams
Hold
go.
up. Dyer. Sean Payton just signed with the Broncos, right? In 2025, the Super Bowl is in the Superdome in New Orleans. Is there a comeback story there?
Don't call it a comeback.
Are you ready to predict the next 3 Super Bowl winners, Dyer? Go ahead.
Hold up. We got a very big coaches challenge right now. This is unbelievable. Is Redskins considered a bad word?
Apparently it is now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Redskins not a bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a derogatory term for Native American folks, right? Indians never has been. Indians
No.
is, I think, in a lot of cases what they prefer to be called.
Well, Indian is also the origin of the name is not accurate either, technically.
Yeah, dumb fucking Christopher Columbus thought he was in India.
India. Yeah. So you're saying that Patty Mahomes wins in Arizona, Aaron Rodgers wins in Vegas in 2024, and then the Broncos find a way to win in 2025.
I think so.
Back home.
They just got away with it.
Homecoming in New Orleans.
I do think so.
Another good sports question here, though. Does Oakland lose its last team, the Oakland A's? Yes. 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 Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think they do.
Fuck yeah. 100%. I can't say 100% because I don't know, but yes. Yes, they are losing that team. Oakland will be sportsless. It will be 100% sportsless, and I feel terrible for the 15 Oakland Athletics fans that will have to move to a new city. But that place has been a dump for a while. Derek, do you have anything nice to say about the Coliseum other than the history?
I actually enjoyed pitching there. The speakers, the sound system is actually really cool. I did love hearing that. It's really not that bad. Like, their fan base is very loyal.
Yes.
And
Oakland.
passionate. Yes.
It's Oakland.
Which, yeah, but it's when they start playing and they're doing good and they start picking it up a little bit, it's nice. It's very nice. Yes, it does suck. You go in there and it's kind of a ghost town, but no, it's still, it's a historic ballpark to me. I mean, I think about the Bash Brothers back in the day playing there, Ricky Henderson, who you would see there all the time. Like, there's history, and it's a cool little ballpark. It's great for pitchers. I will say that there's so much room out there for activities.
See, at least
go ahead.
I was gonna say, at least it has history, unlike Tropicana.
Yeah, it's true. Tropicana just has to fix the roof. That's the big thing. It's really not that bad of a place. The roof is what kills it because it's a white roof. That's why guys lose the balls all the time up there. The other thing is the rafters are low enough. Like, it's just, yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, and the other thing they need to fix about Tropicana is the amount of people in the seats.
I don't know if they can do much about that. I think the location might have a little something to do with that there, Dyer. I'm not sure. I
mean, all those old folks in St. Pete aren't buying season tickets.
You know, it would help if your team was actually in the city that they're named for, or at least an easy way to get there. Potentially, might be a good thing. Because I don't know, just a suggestion. Maybe that might be a good idea.
Might be onto something there, David.
That's what I'm saying. I think if I dig deep enough, I'll get something good out of that. I'll get something good out of that. Final topic, or actually, quick 2 more topics. One more sports topic, one non-sports topic. Hate to see it, but it is news that broke today. Joe Mixon has been issued a warrant for his arrest on one count of aggravated menacing today.
I didn't see that.
I don't know what aggravated menacing is. I'm assuming it's stalking or similar to that. I could be very wrong.
The Mixon thing was, I thought it was because he had a pistol. He had pointed a gun at somebody.
That would be aggravated menacing. That would make sense. You're menacing someone in an aggravated way.
I will be here.
There you go.
I
There you
got
go.
one.
You got
I-
one.
I
You got
urged
one.
I
See,
finally
that's
got
what it is. We got Dr. Dyer and we've got Derek Holland Esquire.
Ta-da!
He's explaining legal terms to us.
No, we just need something from me. Derp's the derp. But
No. I would
listen,
see. Nope.
first of all, Dyer, first of all, Derek, the Derps cast has a strong history. Okay,
It does. You guys have held it together very well.
I'm just saying the Derps cast is a thing. I'm seeing a warrant was
Out for his
for
arrest.
intimidation.
Pointing a gun.
Yeah, he allegedly pointed a gun at an individual January 21st and said the person should be popped in the face. That'll do it.
Mm.
You
That'll
can't
do
do
it. No,
That's-
that's
Can't do that.
no, that's a very much no.
Yeah, you can't do that, bud.
Oh, it was before the game too.
Oof, yeah, you can't do that.
Oh no, you definitely can't do that. You can't do that.
Was it in Kansas City?
I don't know.
Sorry, I was still
I'm
doing the
assu-
chant.
You're right.
On the 21st. What day is today? Oh, no, that wouldn't have been in Kansas City. Well, when did they go to Kansas City? Probably not that early.
It was probably after their win against the Bears. I mean, the Bills.
Bears.
Duh, Bears.
Bengals, Bills was on the 22nd. So yeah, it would be
The night before.
the night before, right
Where-
before the game.
Where was he that he was threatening
Buffalo,
to
apparently.
kill someone the night before the
There was
game?
a woman too.
How are you not just like in your hotel room?
I got
Chilling.
the story.
What is he doing?
He
Pointing
pointed
guns
a
at
gun
somebody?
at a woman and threatened her.
This guy's got a bad track record with females, by the way.
You should be popped in the face. I should shoot you. The police can't get me.
One time he actually did pop a woman in the face at college.
Yeah, when he was 18. And maybe those, I don't know. Listen, first of all, why do you have a gun in New York? Mistake number one.
Mm.
That's not going to go well.
Right? He traveled with that.
Like, yeah, good point, Dyer.
Everybody's
good
getting
point.
points.
You know, we just need to do an around the horn thing at some point. And just
There's so many problems with what happened.
maybe we should do an around the horn episode. We need to get like a guest host for it. And I'll just give out points and we can have the end thing where one person gets the monologue.
Right?
Talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Mm.
I'll get my
Good-
little
good
chalkboard
idea.
behind me
Good.
like Woody Page.
Oh, you're gonna Woody Page it? You have different diarisms, different doctor.
Absolutely.
Or you just gonna? You have to wear a lab coat though.
Yeah. I'll put different clinical diagnoses behind me based on what's happening in the conversation.
Just random like.
If we had commercials, I'd come back as a different character each time.
We'll be right back and just hit a button. Derek shows up in a Bumblebee costume, just like what?
Well, I couldn't do all that because that would take way too long.
I mean,
I'd
I
have
could
to
get a
start with
table
that.
and stand right here, put a suit on.
There you go.
Fries are done.
Last two things I want to talk about real quick before we get off, just because they're happening right now. Derek is going through a little bit of an interesting Twitter experiment at the moment.
Oh yeah,
Um,
which is
so-
weird.
it's really weird.
I've
so
actually
Dyer,
had results from this. Which is crazy.
so Dyer, do you know about this Twitter experiment?
No. What's
Derek,
going on?
the floor is yours.
So I got online, and so this is the Twitter experiment there, Dyer. I got online, and I was reading, and I kept seeing certain people have locks beside their name. So I was trying to figure out what it was, and it was saying, if your account is private, you get seen. Like the reach goes to more people, and I was like, that can't be fucking right. Like it's private. That doesn't make sense. So I looked at it, and then I saw that Elon Musk said he was going to test it out because he was very concerned with this, seeing that this is now his product with Twitter.
It doesn't make sense.
And it didn't make sense at all. And man, I just farted. I don't know if you heard that. So, damn it. I wish you would have heard that. It would have got me a ding.
Yeah, you got the ding.
But so he did it for a day, and it did. It actually got him a shit ton more people seeing his stuff. So I said, all right, I'm going to try it. I put mine on private, put out a tweet. I had people responding to me that thought I was off of Twitter, off of social media. They were literally responding like, I haven't seen a tweeting from you in forever. Like, this is crazy. Where have you been? What's been going on? Like, it's all my random fans, like people from Detroit, people from Pittsburgh. I had
There was one guy who said he thought he blocked him.
he thought I had blocked him because he hadn't seen anything from me on his timeline at all, and I'm one of the people he follows. So, still makes no sense. I have it still that way right now.
Didn't your impressions go through the roof too?
My impressions went through the absolute roof. In a 1 hour time span, I had 16,000 views on whatever it was. When I tweeted that about the lock.
Shit.
And so I'm concerned because it's like, well, do I go back and see if maybe that changes it? Was I shadow banned? That was the other thing that could be possible. Because I know I am on Instagram, which cracks me up, is you can't find me unless you type out my full name. Some of my stories I've watched, some of them will say 100 views, and then the other ones will say 3,000 views. It makes zero sense. So how this social media bullshit's working, I have no clue when it comes to that. So I am concerned and curious at the same time of what is going on with our social media and how can we be seen and heard if you're private versus non-private.
I guess it would be interesting to see if we're going to be what's the word? Self-promoting here, is if you end up getting more views on your Twitch because of it. Because how many people were you tweeting out you were live to who just never saw your tweets?
Yeah, there was a lot. At one point yesterday, I got up to 30 people just like that. So it's like random. Like, it's weird that they've done that. Now, granted, right now, like I haven't really tweeted much out today for the most part when it comes to it, besides the Mav stuff. But I'm still getting a lot of engagement.
Here's my other question about this. So, the only other thing I could think what happened is I wonder if there's some kind of, so you know how Twitter now has the For You page and the following page? I wonder if there's some kind of algorithm that for people you follow, if you're in the For You page or you're in the following, I don't know, that maybe it bumps that up more for people. And maybe the private gets bumped up more because like you are following a private a private account, and it views that as more relevant to you because that person allowed you to follow them. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But that's a weird one. Dyer, what do you think?
I don't know. Maybe that's some form of shadow banning that was in there.
The weird thing is, though, sorry to cut you off. I just came to my mind. You're not very political on your Twitter.
No, absolutely not.
You're political on your Instagram.
Yep.
You do talk about your politics on Instagram, but your Twitter is more about fans. You're more
My
about
Twitter is like me just goofing off.
It's your total engagement. It's not. I don't think I've seen one political tweet.
Literally, I
on your
tweeted.
Twitter.
I just tweeted this about 15 minutes ago. Mavs seriously about to lose a 30-point lead. They got to get this dub. Come on, fellas, let's go Mavs. 4,000 views 15 minutes ago.
Well, and of all of the platforms that would ban people, Twitter was the least likely to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they let people stay around forever.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was just a glitch in their algorithm where they just something's wrong and they just had it flipped on the wrong side.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
I have no idea.
Weird. Really
but
weird.
even that's why I don't think you're shadow banned on Twitter, because again, you don't really tweet anything.
I don't really put anything bad out there.
You don't put anything at all out there.
I've liked some stuff that's, that people don't like.
I mean, yeah, I've liked bad porn on Twitter too, but that's besides the point. But either way, nothing. All right, fine. But either way, like,
can we get just a ding for his laugh? I mean, that's got to get it one. Thank you.
You can get a ding. You can get a ding. Yeah, big sports. You know what it is? You didn't. You were actually supposed to lose the World Series in 5 games, not 6. And they're getting back on you for going off script.
I didn't go off script.
You went off script. You guys improvised. That'll be better TV ratings, the whole 9. The last thing I want to talk about, just because it's a little conspiracy theory because we got to do another one of those episodes, and then we'll get out of your guys' ears. Is what's going on over Montana right now with the supposed
China balloon.
Chinese spy balloon. Well, I guess it's not supposed. The Pentagon's come out and said that it is in fact a spy balloon from China. And well, at least they think it's from China. They're 99% sure it's from China. First of all, the crazy thing about this is, have you guys seen how big this fucker is?
No, I didn't
They
even.
said it's 3 school buses in diameter.
I'm looking it up right
Pretty
now.
big.
Like so it's above commercial airline height. And when you see pictures of it, you can still see it clear as fucking day. And airliners fly at what?
30,000?
35,000 feet.
Yeah.
They said it is substantially above that to as not to be any kind of security issue for aircraft in the area. So if it's that high up and you can still see that fucker from the ground, that thing's huge.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
they're showing. I saw one on Twitter. It is a big ass fucking balloon.
It's huge.
It's a very, very, very big balloon.
So
Where's it from again?
China,
China.
supposedly. They've done this forever. Like, it's no secret China spies on us. We spy on China. Everyone knows this.
China.
Nice.
Yeah, there's Dyer.
And the weird thing about this, and so everyone's saying, well, it's a balloon. They're trying to whatever. Balloons are so random. Like, you put the balloon in the airstream and you kind of say, all right, go. And then wherever you end up, you end up. Like, that's just kind of how that works. And Dyer, I don't know if you've seen pictures of this thing. I'll put a picture of it in the Discord for you to take a look at.
I do want to point out why you're getting that.
It's in the general of the off the Fairport.
If there was an American balloon flying over China, that bitch would have been shot down a long time ago.
We wouldn't have heard about it.
True, but I'm saying
They wouldn't say shit.
it would have been shot down right away, and those that did see it, whatever, that would have been out there. But yeah, this is.
Well, here's
the fact
where
that we
I
let
see.
it keep going.
Here's so I thought about that, and maybe I'm nuts, but here's my thinking on this: twofold. One, we operate way different than China does in terms of acceptable civilian risk. If that balloon's that big and it's that high up, you pop that fucker, you are just releasing hundreds of pounds of missile, essentially, camera equipment, sensors. Where the fuck is that going?
Well, you pop it over where it's going to
you-
hit a field.
But it's not going to go straight down. There's wind current.
Correct. I know that, but you got to get it where there's open land. And if it's flying in Montana right now.
But what I'm saying is the way the U.S. military operates on U.S. soil for the most part in the past, and I'm not an expert on this, so don't take me as one. But our goal is as little to no risk as possible, so nothing random or weird happens. Because what if it did land on somebody? What if it landed on some random farmer? Do you know the outcry that would come from that would be huge?
Well, time to go to war with China.
It would be ridiculously huge if that happened.
You said this is in Montana?
It's it's over Montana, ish.
China is actively spying out here in this region because, but it just goes to show you, like, what kind of intel do we have that we're developing there that they have such an interest in? Because I know it's drone tech. There's big drone tech because there was the corn mill that the Chinese company tried to buy that just got nixed by the federal government in Wyoming. The Chinese own a lithium mine, I believe, in Wyoming as well. And then now this, in the same area, they've got this spy balloon up there. We've got some shit going on in this space that they are extremely interested in.
It's also where a lot of our nuclear silos are.
Mm-hmm.
They've also bought a bunch of land in Oklahoma as well. And they're buying some land, trying to buy land in Texas, which is getting shot down, though, from happening. But they have bought some land and then got busted on the land in Oklahoma.
So I see what Thunder Chucky's saying. Someone's spying, evacuate the air and take that thing out ASAP. Twofold answer to that, in my opinion. Again, I'm no expert, but or just from my field of study when I went through college for and just counterterrorism and that kind of thing. And now again, no expert. I'm not by any means an expert, so don't take it this way.
No, that's your title. Counterterrorism correspondent.
Hell no. That's funny.
I can't even say that.
The the amount of satellites that China has on us, the amount of satellites we have on China at any given time, the amount of overflights we do, the amount of overflights they do, the amount of balloons we've sent up, the amount of balloons they sent up, it happens all the fucking time, all the time. It's just kind of the state of the world. It's just is what it is. We like, and to pretend that we aren't doing the same thing over there is ridiculous because we are. That's just how it is. But two, evacuate the whole area, evacuate the area. For it being that high up, the potential spread of that area is huge.
You don't know what's in that balloon too, so what could
Correct.
pop could be some kind of chemical released into.
And also, wouldn't we want to try to, if we could, recover said balloon? I don't know. I'm spitballing here, but
What
I
if that
also
balloon's
know
on its way to New York?
it's going the other direction.
Oh,
It's going the wrong way, so it would have to go around again.
well,
It would
I
have
didn't know
to-
that part.
it would-
Maybe it's going to
I'm
LA.
gonna do a
That's
wrap
kind of
around.
like a EMP device or something.
But that's just why I could see us not shooting it down. I think the risk, again, the U.S. is so worried about what happens at home. Like, what's the percentage it falls on someone's probably minuscule, but what if it does? And then if it did, now we're down a clusterfuck hole that we're never coming up from again. Because then it'll be, why the fuck did we shoot it down? Why didn't we evacuate people? Blah, 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 blah. And then it becomes a whole nother big thing. And then it becomes U.S. military shoots down spy balloon, debris fall on and kill so-and-so. I mean, and that news cycle never goes away, like ever. That's going to be.
Wasn't that like the original UAV spy tech? Was these balloons that were super high up like that would take pictures, and
Yeah.
then they'd have a plane that would come up and retrieve it?
So funny story. Yes, that was Skyhook. That was actually a project called. They also were trying to do it to extract. CIA wanted to use it to extract people. Never really worked.
Yeah.
So cool little piece of trivia here, and then we'll get out of your guys' ears. Do you guys know that there were 6 American deaths in World War II on American soil? Do you know how it happened?
I do, but I forget. I've heard
Is
this.
this excluding Pearl Harbor because that was before the
Correct.
declaration of war?
This was correct. Yes. It's very relevant.
Well, go ahead.
Was there something regarding? I don't know what.
Japan tied explosives to balloons, released them in the jet stream with the hopes they would reach mainland America. One of them did outside. One of them did in Oregon, where the balloon popped as it was supposed to, dropped the ordnance, and killed 6 civilians.
Damn.
That
So
doesn't seem very efficient.
it's actually incredibly efficient.
Really?
They weren't getting anywhere near the coast. They weren't. They weren't getting near the coast. They weren't getting anywhere near there. Japan, while not as advanced as Nazi Germany was still pretty advanced in terms of understanding of mechanics and physics and everything. And they happen to know that the wind, the jet stream flows from them directly up over mainland U.S., the northern portion of U.S. So they released a bunch of these balloons, and one of them happened to make it there. And
How precise is this though? Like, or how precise could you make something like
So
this? I
put it-
guess is a better
so,
question.
So it's not. So they released 9,000 balloons. So the idea was they weren't trying to hit a specific target in Oregon. Their idea was, if we launched 9,000 balloons into the jet stream with explosives on them, we can at least cause chaos.
Yeah, that fear factor, I guess, is more important than the actual loss of life.
Correct. So the balloons had an anti-personnel bomb and 2 incendiary bombs attached to each balloon. 361 balloons were found across 26 states, Canada, and Mexico.
Hmm.
The balloons were 70 feet tall, 33 feet in diameter,
So fucking
And-
big.
and followed the jet stream at 30,000 feet.
So is it like basically like a hot air balloon?
It was like a weather balloon, really.
Yeah.
Just put it up, let it go, and see what happened. And it worked. Well, it didn't work the way they wanted it to work, but it did work. They reached mainland U.S.
It would have worked. I mean, if the only one really did work.
Correct.
I mean, if this could have happened and it just like, you know, in a bunch of different places and it did what it did in Oregon, you know, 20 other places too, then I think maybe that psychological warfare factor would have
It would
played.
have worked, yeah,
Yeah,
but it didn't.
because then people have that irrational fear that this is actually going to happen, even though it was a very small sample set of things, you know?
The fact that it even reached here, though, is kind of nuts.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea.
Like
What if you put a nuke on one of those, but you couldn't, it wouldn't be that precise. There'd be no way to do that.
I don't know how strong those balloons are either.
Yeah, those are pretty heavy, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know,
I would imagine they are.
but that could be one explanation. Like, I don't think China's doing this, but it has happened in the past, and we have found other Chinese and other countries spy balloons over top of us in the past, and they found ours. I just thought that was a cool little trivia connection there.
I do like that though.
That's cool. I'd never heard of that. That's very interesting. That's a good like party topic, you know, if something comes up, if international affairs and, you know, wartime stuff ever comes up, that's a cool little factoid that you could pull out of your back pocket.
Death matches. If you all want to get spooky, imagine they tried to make Yellowstone erupt. That's gonna happen eventually.
It will.
And
Yeah,
when
at
it
some
does, it's
point.
going to be a civilization ender. And I just
Hey,
hope
man.
I'm not here for that.
I watched a movie last night. Was it last night? No, 2 nights ago, called How It Ends. It was actually a really good movie. I enjoyed it very much, and I think it had Forrest Whitaker in it. That was the only actor that I recognized, but it was a really cool, like, apocalypse movie. Like, as this cataclysm is happening, and throughout the whole movie, you don't know what's happening, and they throw different things out there, like, you know, as they come across people, like, oh, this is happening, and then somebody else will say something totally different. It was so cool the way that they framed it, that nobody knew exactly what was going on, because this event was so widespread and had such a huge impact and caused so much damage that it damaged the infrastructure that nobody was aware exactly what was going on. It was a cool flick, though. I would definitely recommend it.
I mean, when Yellowstone goes, we're just going to say our prayers. Have fun.
Oh yeah,
Good luck. Find your battle buddy. It's going to happen. I mean, we're also on course for another meteor hit, asteroid hit, and a bunch of other stuff we're overdue for. So, you know.
well, and those are all the things too that, if and when they occur, we'll never know about, even if somebody knows it's going to happen, because it'll just cause widespread hysteria. If people are like, "Oh, hey, by the way, this giant asteroid is going to hit us in 3 days," then the entire planet would just be like, "Fuck it, fuck the laws," and it's just every man for himself, and people are doing all kinds of depraved shit. So even if they know, and they somebody will know when that kind of thing is going to happen, nobody else will.
People will just start disappearing.
They already
You
are.
won't know where they went. They're just going to be gone, and you're going to go, wait, hold on. Although I saw an interesting psychological study about that. I know this is getting real, like, sciencey here, but I saw a really interesting psychological study about that, where they did experiments on what would happen to people who were on those lists and how it would affect them psychologically. Because if you think about it, not everyone who's on those lists are going to think the way, a lot of them are humans, right? In the sense of like, they have kids, they have families, they have all of this shit, they have friends, right?
Sure.
Imagine the psychological impact if like someone just came, Derek, knocked on your door and said, "It's time." And you knew what he meant, but you couldn't tell Head. You couldn't tell Siegel. You had to get in that car, you had to go. You couldn't tell a single soul. You couldn't tell a friend. And you're whisked away. You know what's coming. You know what's happening. You can't tell anybody.
I'd ask
You
if I could
not
at
Only the
least bring
fact
my
that you knew what's
PlayStation.
going to happen and all the people that you love are going to die.
You can't tell your
couldn't say
mom. You
goodbye.
can't tell your dad. You can't tell your... Do you want to be on that list?
No,
Like, fuck that.
no, because all you can do is sit and watch from far.
Yeah. Well, you're safe.
No, I don't want
Like,
that.
that's
Like on the
an
moon or some shit.
like that's an insane like thing to think about. That people like, because like I said, there are people on that list who don't want to be on that list. They have
That's,
to be.
I mean, we're talking. Can't say bye to your kids. Can't say bye to your dog.
Nope. It's up and out.
Yeah, because if you're on that list, I feel like it's just you. It's not like maybe you get like one person or something. Maybe.
I don't really want to talk about this because I'm about to go to bed, and now I'm going to be thinking about that.
Are you on the list, Derek?
I guess if you don't hear from me, that's where I'm at.
Well, now we know, Dyer. Now we know.
The
We will,
list.
let's check it in twice. That's where we'll really find out who's naughty and nice.
It's going to kill me.
But that's gonna do it for us here off the Fair Bowl season 3,
Great.
episode 3.
Thanks.
We-
No, I'm not sleeping tonight.
What do you want to talk about something else? So we get it off your head.
it's just.
You
it's-
sure? We can talk about tacos if you want.
No, it just sucks.
I love
'cause
Soft shell or hard
that's-
shell?
It doesn't matter what we talk about now. It's been thrown into my fucking head. That's just how I am as a person. That shit sits in here, and now I'm going to sit in my bed. I'm not kidding. I will literally be laying in my bed thinking somebody's going to show up some point and be like, hey, we got to go.
It's
Not
been
really.
thrown into your Joshua.
My noggin.
You're nodding.
Fucking head.
The man. Death says you're on the Manfred list, maybe.
I'm not. No comment. I'm not even. I can't say anything there. I have to sit that out. But I really am. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. This sucks.
But that'll do it for us.
I can't even watch
apologize.
scary movies
Well,
alone. Like even if I watch, like let's say all three of us were hanging out in the same house, and you're like, "Hey, let's watch a scary movie." All right, cool. Let's watch it. I'm not sleeping. My like, I'd have to take like NyQuil or something.
Dyer's just gonna. I don't know, Dyer. I feel like you're Are you into scary movies, Dyer?
I love scary movies.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like Dyer would be the one perpetrating that. Let's watch another. Let's do another one, Derek.
Yeah,
One more.
I
You
mean,
ever
I'm gonna say, okay, let's do it, and then I'm literally gonna be sitting in my chair. Well, I better start thinking of some other things or doing something that's not gonna let that stick around.
Have you guys seen It Follows?
No, let's not even start talking about scary movies.
Listen,
no,
no.
I'm not
Listen,
going to
listen,
listen. I'm gonna
listen,
leave.
listen.
I'm going to leave.
No,
I will
You have
leave
to.
this
Wait.
chat. Yeah, I do have to leave. You're right. I will leave this chat.
it's not.
It's
the,
not-
The
I don't-
concept itself doesn't sound that
Okay,
scary, but they
Good.
do
I
such a
don't
great
need to
job
talk
with the
about
movie.
scary movies
Damn
or
it.
any of that. I just don't do it. It's not my thing. I can't.
What's your shirt
I-
mean?
It's a karate class from Karate Kid.
Oh, that's what. I was staring at that. I'm sorry. I was actually staring at that the entire time.
I like what you're doing, but no, it's not going to work. I'm still going to
But
literally.
I was actually curious on what your shirt was.
I'm going to think about this balloon. I'm going to think about. I need to go watch cartoons.
Yeah, you do.
Balloon Knot. Look,
What about
where's,
what about?
where's that?
I'm not.
Why would you
Balloon
think-
knot, and
wha-
then you're going to say my dog? Really?
Yeah, he's got a balloon knot.
Yeah,
Obviously.
but you literally started to say, "Oh, just go look a balloon knot." That's what you were getting ready to say, and you know it too. And then you threw Bruce out there.
Wait, I got you, Derek.
You better not say that again.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh my God, this went down a rabbit hole, didn't it?
Yeah. It's
Well-
not a good
Really
one.
went down a rabbit balloon knot.
We will be back next week.
Okay,
if
that
Derek
was
has...
a buzzer. Can you please give him that? That was
Yeah, I
terrible.
got you.
That was so
Thank you.
bad. That
Does he-
was
does he
bad.
Thank you.
Does he get 2 for that?
He's already got plenty right now.
What you're saying is Dyer gets the mute button for the rest of the the
Yeah,
rest
he's
of the
got the
podcast?
little cardboard
Grayed
cutout.
out. Yeah. It's just-
Play balloon tower defense. Get out of here. God dang it.
Oh my god. Well, we're gonna go watch Blue's
The
Clues.
Office. Office is a good one too. Thank
The
you,
Office
Hank.
is a good one. Office, that is
But
a
it's
good
not
one.
on right now. It's this stupid daily show. It sucks. It's so
It's not
fucking
even
bad.
it's not even the good one. John Daly was the only good Daily Show.
Correct, but this is Trevor
Daily.
I know.
or Trevor Noah. Sorry, I went to the wrong.
He's not
one.
even on it anymore. That's
I
the old
know.
one.
Talking about Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Well,
Jon
that
You
Stewart.
too.
said John Daly.
I said John Daly. Hey,
Sweet if John Daly was on the Daily Show, by the way.
you know what? He might have been. That would have been a great. But yeah, Jon Stewart was the last good Daily Show host.
All right, close this thing out.
I've been trying, but he's talking about. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been. Anyway, that's gonna do it for season 3, episode 3 of Off the Farable. For myself, Derek, and Dyer. We'll catch you all next week. Be sure to give us a listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. Give us a like and a rating. It does help us out. We'll see you guys next week, and we're gonna talk about puppies and unicorns. But until then, see ya.
Bye.